Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
You have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayed. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It is Wednesday, June 28, 2023. It's Elon Musk's 52nd birthday. I suspect it'll be a very interesting year for Elon Musk. We call 52 the technology number, and of course, he is Mr. Technology. A great example of the technology code is the movie about technology overtaking man, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That movie came out in 1968. 52 years later was 2020, the year of the pandemic, where big tech took over the world, and the big tech billionaires grew their market share, and they were allowed to keep their business doors open while mom and pop had to shut down. Lots of headlines about how much Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates made in that time. And again, that was 52 years after the movie about technology taking over came out. Another movie about technology overtaking man is Terminator, which equals 52, like technology. So Elon Musk turns 52 years old today. That means it's also the 6-year anniversary of my first YouTube channel getting deleted. It happened on this day in 2017. And since then, we've lost 20 some more, all wrongfully so by the fascists at big tech who hate free speech and love Switzerland Jesuit dictators. But I should say Swiss. Anyway, there's been a theme the last few weeks that we've been talking about. Dead Baltimore Ravens. Before the upcoming 104th NFL season, the year is Super Bowl 58. And since we convened last week, we have a death of another Baltimore Raven. This time it's Ryan Mallet, who in his NFL career finished with the Ravens. Prior to that, played for the Texans and was drafted by the New England Patriots. The Ravens opener this year is going to be against the Houston Texans, and those were Ryan Mallet's last two teams. Now he's dead. Last week we were talking about the death of the former Steeler and 49er who died, synced up with the home opener between the Steelers and 49ers. Now same thing here with a Ravens and Texans player. And again, gematria. That language to know to see through the rituals. Ryan Mallet, who's now dead, equals 66, like Baltimore Ravens, like Houston Texans. And remember, we were just talking about the death of Ray Lewis's son, 66 days after the owner and general manager's birthday of the Baltimore Ravens. Again, the owner and the general manager have the same birthday, the 10th day of the 4th month, April 10th. Kind of like 104, like the upcoming 104th NFL season. Like we talked about last week, Ray Lewis equals 104. Jim Brown equals 104. He played for the Cleveland Browns that became the Baltimore Ravens. Now Ryan Mallet dead from a drowning. Drowning equals 104. Keep in mind this drowning comes in the time of cancer. And cancer is a water sign. You guys might recall about a month and a half back, I talked about the death of a classmate who disappeared on June 27th. That's the same day Ryan Mallet disappeared. And you know what weirds me out about this is the classmate of mine who died, which was ruled a suicide. He disappeared June 27th and was found drowned in the river. And again, he's from a really wealthy family. His sister was in the paper saying she didn't believe that it was a suicide. It didn't make any sense. He was found with weights attached to his body. I mean, a strange thing to do for a suicide, to tie weights to yourself and then drown yourself in the middle of the Columbia River. But it's the exact same date. And in the case of my classmate, his birthday was May 6th, 5/6. His body was found 56 days after his birthday. I look at Ryan Mallet and I say, well, his birthday is June 5th, another 5/6 date, and he died this year on a date that had 56 date numerology. And it makes me just want to go throughout history and just stare at the date June 27th and see how many suspicious drowning deaths there are, from my classmate to now Ryan Mallet. And again, all I can say about my classmate is from a very, very wealthy family. And we know there's something about the ruling class, this code, ritual murder. And some of this stuff might be a lot closer to home than we know. So RIP to Ryan Mallet, and RIP to my classmate as well, Leif Vigeland. But yeah, Fox News also had a mocking headline, I would say, about the death of Ryan Mallet. They emphasized the words deeply saddened. Again, deep water, drowning, but deeply saddened. The gematria that is 66, like Ryan Mallet, like Baltimore Ravens, like Houston Texans, like, again, Ray Lewis, his son just died 66 days after the owner's birthday. When Jim Brown died, he died in a big 66 ritual. So just the same numbers are manifesting in each of these rituals. And don't forget, 66 is a big number with the NFL. In Jewish gematria, NFL equals 66. The first Super Bowl season was 66. And there's a lot more to that number as well. Of course, it's a biblical number, 66 books in the Bible. This code is very much biblical. Baltimore, about the most Catholic city in America. And don't forget, Baltimore has that gematria 95. Baltimore also has that gematria 58. Super Bowl 58's on the 95th birthday of the Vatican, February 11th, 2024. So RIP to Ryan Mallet, dead at age 35, and who finished his NFL career with a 3-5 record. Another big Super Bowl number, winning score of the first Super Bowl, Packers over Chiefs with 35 points. But yeah, RIP to Ryan Mallet, another Baltimore Raven. I'm wondering if next Wednesday night I'll be back here talking about the death of the latest Raven. I hope not, but I suspect it is something, a recurring theme that we're talking about going into the football season again, throughout the football season. And don't forget, one of the biggest rituals we saw last year was the death of the two Ravens in the same news cycle, Tony Siragusa and Jalen Ferguson. And then on that same day, the closing question for Jeopardy was about Edgar Allan Poe, who wrote The Raven, which the Ravens are named after. And going to make a point about game shows now, because on the same day that Ryan Mallet drowned, Ryan Seacrest was named the new host of Wheel of Fortune. And where Ryan Mallet was the 74th pick of the NFL draft, Wheel of Fortune equals 74. And then also on the same day, there was another dead Ryan in the news, Ryan Siew, which kind of, Ryan Seacrest, Ryan Siew, dead musician at the tender age of 26, Ryan Siew, dead 74 days before the upcoming album comes out for his band Polaris. Again, Ryan Mallet's 74th pick. Ryan Siew dead 74 days before the album's new band, which is a part of every article written about his death, how the new band album will come out September 1st. And again, he's dead 74 days before that date. And then Wheel of Fortune 74 to go with Ryan Seacrest. And as we know, 74, very fateful number in gematria. In gematria, words like killing, occult, gematria, English, they equal 74. Polaris is a metal band. The other metal band, Slipknot, has the song Gematria, the killing name. We know how fateful this number is throughout history. My second book, Number Games, begins with a bunch of deaths connected to 74 that were just from recent times when I wrote the book, just to paint the picture of how often it happened. But then it also reminded how 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents died on July 4th. And again, it was this number right here, 74, that clued me into gematria being a real thing in 2013. In August, it'll be 10 years of being aware of this knowledge, sharing this knowledge, teaching about this knowledge. And it was August 2013 where I had all of my friends and family write me off as a psychopath schizo, simply because I posted on Facebook, hey, what do you guys think about this? There's something called gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, and all these things equal 74. English, gematria, occult, energy, Masonic, Jewish, Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables, holiday. And out of the 50 states, only one equals 74. It's Oregon, the 33rd state, and Independence Day equals 74. And this nation's birthday is 7-4, and we're an English-speaking nation. You know, and then as time went on, I realized things like George Washington were 74. Again, he's a Mason, Masonic 74. Jesus Christ equals 74 when you do it the small way, like Jesus is 74. But for sharing that, everyone thought I had lost my mind. And again, I was right back to where I was the day of September 11th. And by the way, the World Trade Centers were on the 74th meridian. But, you know, it was just such an obvious lie, such an obvious mockery. 911, a national emergency, everybody panicked, freaking out, and seemingly looking like a perfect demolition, an impossible way that the buildings came down based on what we saw on TV. One of the buildings had the corner of it blown out near the top. Physics would say that if the steel was going to weaken because of the hot fire, it would tip in the direction of the weakened, blown out section of the building, and the top of the building would tip off and fall to the ground and smash everything, you know, out to the side of the tower instead of it coming down perfectly in its own footprint, which makes absolutely zero sense at all. And again, you know, for making logical observations, I was treated then like a psychopath, like I was crazy, like I was an asshole, like I should move out of the country. And again, you notice that all of these words equal 74, which all have a relationship. Again, this Christian nation, this nation founded by Masons, this nation that has a 7-4 birthday. And again, the way I'm treated for sharing this information with people is, again, I'm a psychopath. I'm a crazy. You guys, it's why I wasn't deterred, because I'd already gone through this as an 18-year-old when 9/11 happened, and I realized it's not me. It's my fellow man. When they're confronted with life-changing information, things that should open their eyes and make them see through, you know, things they need to see. Instead of doing that, instead they act all butthurt and then start insulting the messenger. And that's why, you know, when it happened in 2013, I said, you know what? I'm done with all these friends. These are the same people that have been dogging on me about 9/11. But, you know, it's the same people that they can't see through that. They can't see through this. And I just said, you know, I'm on a different tier than these people. And people might think that sounds arrogant, but it's true. I mean, you have to realize a lot of humanity, if you're awake and you see what's going on in this world, you're on a different tier. The rest of these people are in a slave mindset. They're in a, I believe my slave master mindset, and my ego's so big, I'll never admit that I've been fooled by my slave master and taken advantage of, and I'm essentially their owned property. I'm their little consumer bot. My whole life's about paying for their entertainment bot. Again, that's what the majority of Americans are. Little robots, you know, just doing what they're told, doing exactly what they are programmed to do. And they don't go outside that programming. They don't question master. They don't question the nightly news. They just do what they were told to do. Go work their slave job, get their slave check, pay their slave rent, their slave bills, go buy some crap they don't need, get tired of it a month later, go buy some more crap they don't need. And again, you know, not all of us are that, and we don't want to be that, and we don't want to be lied to and ruled over and manipulated and you know, intentionally, you know, I guess the way to put it is, we see that we're the victims of this abusive ruling class that wants to constantly scare us into their latest agenda, give up more rights and liberties, go join and sign up for the war, send your kids off for the war, let them be cannon fodder so the corporations can get rich again off another needless war. Let's not forget the war on germs and how that was simulated October 18th, the day leaving 74 days left in the air. The biggest tragedy in America since 9/11, as they told us, which again happened on the 74th meridian. But yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, it always comes back to this number. as I've been writing the book on 201, I've stopped several times and said, should I actually be writing a book on 74? It's actually an easier number for the people to grasp. It's only 2 digits instead of 3. It's the nation's birthday. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, dead in the 74th NBA season, et cetera, et cetera. And really, I just need a book on all these numbers, and I just need to finish them instead of trying to perfect them. I keep telling you guys I'm trying to be too perfect. I'm still trying to be too perfect. I'm pulling my hair out. My hair's turning gray. I'm almost 40 years old. I've been working on this 3rd book since I finished the last one, and I've been working on the 3rd book for about 3 years now. So it was about 3 years ago I finished Number Games, and I almost right away jumped into the latest book, and yeah, somehow, some way, I'm still not finished. But yeah, R.I.P. to Ryan Mallet. R.I.P. to Ryan Siew, and I guess congratulations to Ryan Seacrest. You know what else is funny? I don't know if there's something bigger going on here with Ryan. I even saw Paul Ryan in the news today. Paul Ryan's in the news talking about Trump. And speaking of ritual sacrifice, look into what happened to Paul Ryan's dad back when he was in high school, back when he was being chosen and groomed for his future path as a major politician. And we'll see if Paul Ryan ever returns to politics. He was a big star before he just faded from the scene. And who knows, maybe he saw one of my videos and decided to drop out. But yeah, even Paul Ryan is back in the news. Forgot him, the politician from Wisconsin. But yeah, it's a sick world, you guys. And you learn that 74, you see through a lot of the sickness. And it all starts to make a lot more sense. Jefferson and Adams. Thomas Jefferson, John Adams dead July 4th, 7/4/1826. 1,826 days later, Monroe died on July 4th. 3 of the first 5. Ryan Mallet dead at 35. We know where all these numbers go. By the way, another 74 is Holy Roman Empire 74, Catholic 35, Baltimore, Catholic town. Again, the nation's capital, District of Columbia, right between Virginia and Maryland, like Virgin Mary. It's all right there. The nation's capital, the Catholic calendar, the English language that goes back to the Catholic Church. It's no secret who's doing this. It's super obvious. So, shout out to LAF who chipped in $10. I appreciate the generosity. Shout out to Brian Patterson who chipped in $5. Jimmy Johnson in-law murder-suicide decode. Are you talking about Jimmy Johnson of the Cowboys? Is that another headline today? You got another football death, huh? Jimmy Johnson in-law murder-suicide. I'll look into it. I'll look into it. It's dangerous if you're connected to these people in show business. But yeah, let's try to get a lot of calls tonight. I'd love to hear new voices, you guys. We're streaming on 3 channels tonight in the hopes that we'll use them before Google takes them down. And again, if you want to phone in tonight, the number is 213-233-3998. Again, 213-233-3998. It is a call board. So when you call in, you get entered in a line in the order you called in. Right now, there are 5 people on hold. The next caller will be the 6th in line, and so on. And it would be really nice to hear some new voices. It looks like the person who's 2nd in line and possibly 4th in line, I don't recognize those names. We might have some new callers right off the bat. But let's also hear you tonight, you guys. Nothing to be nervous about. Just call in and talk to you like you're talking to any old person, because that's who yours truly is. And first up, what's up, 347?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I got a couple things I want to hit on tonight.
Please.
The first one is on Monday, they reported the person who played the Macy co-owner in the Titans, they said he died May 21st. They just reported it on Monday, and he died May 21st at 94.
Who's this person?
He was the person who played the Strauss person who died on the ship. Remember I told you about the granddaughter?
Oh yeah.
She was the great. Well, the actor who played her great grandfather, he died last month, May 21st, and they just reported it on Monday.
I see. Okay, right after this whole Titan fiasco. Okay.
Ain't that crazy that the guy who played her great-great-grandfather died May 21st, and they waited till this happened to report it to the world that he died at 94.
Huh. Yeah, I was trying to look up what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, this is it. Titanic actor Lou Poulter dead at 94. So, yeah, just to make sure the Titan story doesn't go away, here's another one. And again, 94, Roman Catholic Church 94. So,
All right. The next one more thing about the ship. Oh, see, it had an article about the world's largest cruise ship is almost complete. So they're talking about the largest cruise ship after the Titanic joint, and it's supposed to be ready by October.
Probably sink on an iceberg.
That was interesting.
Yeah, probably hit an iceberg on its first sail. Another coincidence. Probably 74 people on board.
Okay, my next point is Ryan Mallet. You know, he started his career off with the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it was last week or the week before, Tom Brady and his ex-wife were supposed to be building something, and they stopped building it, and he ended up building something else. Guess how much they say Tom Brady was going to build, whatever he's going to build now. Guess how much it was. The Tom Brady number, $35 million.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That died at 35.
That's true, yeah. Tom Brady, big but 35. And he did die a span of 38 days from Brady's upcoming birthday on August 3rd, which can be written 38 or 83, the murder numbers. So, yeah, it's possible it's also for Tom Brady. Indeed.
Okay, and did you see in the news that Madonna went to the hospital when that was yesterday?
Who did?
Madonna.
Oh, on her tour, huh?
Yeah, she's supposed to start her too, but they say they found her unresponsive in her New York City apartment yesterday, I think.
Oh, she's gonna pull a Michael Jackson on us. Okay.
Well, they say she's all right today, so I don't know. So I just thought that was interesting that she was in the news yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Serious bacterial infection. Okay. Again, I have to go back and look at my decode on her tour, but I remember talking about 187 in it, and this happened to her on the day, leaving 187 days left in the year. So, okay.
Okay, and the last thing, what was the last? There was one more thing I wanted to tell you. What was it? What was it? Damn, I just forgot what the last thing was. I want to say it was sports related, but I can't remember right now. But those were the main points about the Titanic actor dying, the Tom Brady and the $35 million building, whatever he's building, and the cruise ship, the largest cruise ship. And you want me to see, and the Madonna story. It was one more thing. I can't remember the other thing, but those were the main ones I wanted to tell you about.
Okay, you can call back if you think of it. So.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it. Great call.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a good night. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Always a great call from him. A+ caller, to the point. Great observations. What's up, 346?
She's trying to do it on her phone now.
346?
All right, I'll call you back.
All right.
346?
All right, fine.
Hello?
I'm on the other line. Sorry. I'll call back.
Oh, you'll call back. Okay, call back. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Couldn't tell who he was talking to. George, I'm having so much trouble getting a hold of you. I called you last Thursday. It went straight to voicemail.
Okay, sorry about that. How's my audio?
Today you sound great.
Oh, okay. So a couple of things. I'm just getting back to the gym, and I probably should take care of that earlier, but sometimes things happen that are beyond my control. Okay, couple things. I know Monday you brought up the fact that Anthony Stephen Fauci was named a professor at Georgetown, or he's going to become a professor at Georgetown. And now I know you've covered him several times on your broadcast and at least one of your books. So this is well-trodden material. Okay, Well, on Monday, I guess he gave an interview talking about his upcoming hiring at Georgetown. And one of the things he mentioned is that he lives 10 blocks from the campus. And you could say, well, okay, so that pencils out to just over a mile. But I think there had to be a reason why he threw in that specific number. Because something you brought up on Monday and in the past is that on January 10, 2017, 10 days before Donald Trump took office, he said sometime during the Trump administration, there would be a surprise outbreak. And he said this at Georgetown University. So in your humble opinion, why do you think he threw out that number, that he lives 10 blocks from Georgetown?
Why? What is it about 10 blocks from Georgetown?
Anthony Fauci lives 10 blocks from Georgetown.
So you're asking, is there something specific about 10?
Yes.
Well,
So he would say, I mean, okay, yes.
The point I always make about 10 is, when you think 10, understand it's biblical code, you might think 10 commandments, Old Testament, 39 books. If you write out 10 as a word, it has gematria 39. So does George. So does Masonry. So does federal. So maybe something about that. Again, George Washington became the first president of the United States the same year Georgetown was established, 1789. But other than that, I don't know about 10 blocks right now. So
Okay, so that pencils out to just over a mile. So 8 blocks is roughly a mile. So about maybe a mile and a quarter. Thereabouts. Now
is regretting.
Oh, hold on, George. We went to commercial.
I think there are a lot.
Be right back
of
with George
people
after the break.
that have dreams and aspirations of things that they always wanted to do, but it wasn't the right time, or they didn't have enough money, or they didn't have enough experience. It's never the right time. You're never going to have the right experience. And all of a sudden you wake up and you're 70. And you're like, God, I wish I could have done it.
It's what you don't do that screws with you later on.
I get one shot at this life. This is it. And I don't want to go through life being the 80% version of me. I don't want to look back and be like 77 and be like, I didn't do that. There's so much I want to do, and I love life so much. I don't want to miss it.
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The question is, where do you get it? BioLife is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to ayalife.com now. That's AYA life.com.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers, and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's the way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
You are listening to the True Frequency Radio Network. No hate, no hype, no fear.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. Over the commercial break, we're going to get back with George, but somebody did ask about the murder-suicide connected to Jimmy Johnson. It's actually not Jimmy Johnson of the Cowboys. It's Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR driver. And what a familiar pattern. The news broke June 27th, the day leaving 187 days left in the year. Of course, we know that's the homicide code, 187. Every year I'm talking about suspicious deaths on June 27 without fail. And they said that the murder was actually the day prior, Monday. Well, guess what? Monday was 83 days before Jimmy Johnson's upcoming September 17th birthday. 83. Murder equals 83. Again, the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. 83 is coded on the movie poster of Murder by Numbers. You could also say it was a span of 84 days, and Jimmy Johnson drives the 84 car in NASCAR. And again, I mean, it's just like every time I look at this, I'm like, why is this not the most viral information in the world? I mean, seriously, it just proves itself every single day. So thanks for the heads up on Jimmy Johnson. One more drop in the bucket for proving the murder code. Now let's get back out to George, who's always got some interesting observations. George, you're on.
Okay, well, thank you for taking my call, as I said, Jack. Okay, so as I said, Anthony Fauci says that he lives 10 blocks from Georgetown University. And this is bizarre. He's 82, almost 83 years old. I mean, he was born on December 24th, 1940. And most people his age would be out, doing, golfing or, sailing around the world or doing something like that. So I guess the Jesuits aren't done using him. And I'm not sure what he's going to be teaching. There's probably going to be a course on how to get away with murdering people or something and making it look like an accident.
He's going to be teaching them how to put dogs in the cage and have GMO flies bite them to death with taxpayer dollars. So,
okay. So, if I could just mention one other thing, do you know much about his wife, Christine Grady?
I remember there's a major conflict of interest with her, but I haven't talked about that since 2020, so I might need a refresher.
Okay, so Christine Grady was born on February 7th, 1950, so she's about a dozen years his junior. They were married in 1985 when Tony was 44. She got her undergrad and PhD from Georgetown University and her master's from Boston College. So between them, they have about, if I'm mistaken, 19 years of Jesuit education, almost 20 years. And I realize that number is a pure coincidence. And they were actually married at Georgetown at a chapel there. And this is something I picked up from Eric Bowman, Eric 777. They both the Faucis received on May the 20th, 2021, so just over 2 years ago, the greater glory for God, however you say it in Latin, adiorum, regorum, or however you pronounce it. So they were, as I said, they have all this Jesuit education between them. They were married at Georgetown. So for all intents and purposes, they're practically priests. So I wanted to mention two other things if I could. I realize you have other people on hold. Somebody actually asked me to look into this, and I was stumped, so I thought I'd get your help. Do you know who Jesse Combs was?
Jesse Combs? Is that the other half of Hannity and Combs?
Well, good guess. Jessica Combs lived from 27 July 1980, died on August 27, 2019. So she was just over 39 years old. Her cause of life was she was the fastest woman in the world. She was killed in a fatal car crash in Oregon, in Alvarado Desert, Oregon. Now, I couldn't find anything suspicious about her in terms of, say, her religious affiliation, or where she went to school, or anything like that. So she set the women's land speed record for 4 wheels, but she was killed in a crash back in 2019. So her name is Combs, Combs, Jessica. She went by Jessie.
I see that. Okay. She died 1 month after her birthday. Yeah, 1 month after the 39th birthday. Huh. Yeah, I'd have to look into it. I wasn't familiar with her, and I don't think I covered that story. I can go back and look at my old posts in case I did, but I don't recall that one. She's got a fateful name, Gematria. Jessica Combs is 118 like death and 206 like sacrifice. So Jessie Combs, the way she spelled it, her short name 33, dead in the 33rd state, Oregon, but have to look into it more.
Okay, and so just to mention one other thing, I know you've covered this extensively regarding the whole episode with the Titan. As a matter of fact, you were talking about it during your monologue. Have you, okay, most people have talked about the other co-founder of the company. He was the great grandson of one of the Strausses. Yes, Stockton Rush.
Right.
But most people haven't. Have you talked about the other co-founder? What was his name? Guillermo. How do you say his name? I'm looking at the story right now. Okay, yes, here it is. Guillermo. Well, I guess in German it would be Zonlein, or most people would say it's Zonlein. He was born on May the 18th, 1966 in Argentina. Now, you want to talk about a Jesuit connection. He went to St. Francis High School in Mountain View, California, which is just south of San Francisco. Now, most people would assume that it was a Franciscan school, but actually, it's run by the Brothers of the Holy Cross, which is a Jesuit creation.
Okay.
So, have you looked into the other founder, Zonheim?
I have not.
Okay. So, anyhow, as I said, his birthday is May the 18th, 1966. And I know you were talking about the number 66 earlier.
Right.
Because I know you've talked at great lengths about the year 1968. Well, I suppose you can talk about the significance of almost any year. However, for what it's worth, as you've mentioned before, the Black Panthers were founded in that year. The Church of Satan was founded that year. Construction of the Bay Area Rapid Transit on BART began in that year.
And
of course,
just another thing in 66 that's related to the World Trade Center. Construction began on the World Trade Center in 68, but they cleared the site for where they would begin building in 66.
Okay. All right. So, you had to wonder, did this whole thing, did this vessel actually sink? I mean, who knows?
Well, we know they do things ritualistically. It's time oriented. So yeah, there are a lot of sinks.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's possible it is synced together. I mean, there's a lot of rituals connected. It's just like you got 2 Ryans dead in the news on the same day. Ryan Seacrest gets promoted to the host of Wheel of Fortune. And again, it's all connected through one number 74.
Okay, well, my question was, did this vessel, the Titan, actually even sink?
I doubt it. I mean, the story just gets dumber each day. Now, Mr. Beast says he was nearly on there. It's like, give me a break. Too bad he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, Mr. B, was that Bill Gates?
Mr. Beast? That's the most popular YouTuber.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never heard of him. I guess I should go look them up when I get off the air with you. So anyhow, well, and just I guess we'll connect soon. But I guess you can try to get a hold of me. Say, well, just send me an email or something. Also, just one last thing. Today is June the 28th, and this is my last share. It was on this date the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand and Sarajevo took place, and his wife.
Yeah.
Thus precipitating what we call World War One.
Yeah.
So I guess it was back in 1914, so 109 years ago. So, question for you: why June the 28th, and why not say the 27th?
Well, 186 is a number that connects back to the Vatican. And the other thing about, so yesterday left 187 days left in the year. That means if you count today through the last day of the year, they are the last 187 days of the year, and they blame the assassination on Black Hand. That's the assassin group. Black Hand equals 187, like Society of Jesus. So again, today also has pretty much the same number connection. And for people who don't know about it all being a big number game, the car that Archduke Franz Ferdinand was in, the license plate for that car is A111118. 111118. That's the day World War I ended. 1111 at the 11th hour, they say. Something that never made any sense to me when I was a child in school. And again, I used to question all this stupid stuff when we were in school, and teachers never had an explanation. And I'd just get annoyed. I'd be like, well, this is so dumb. My teachers just teach us this crap. They don't know what they're just reading out of a book and telling us to believe this crap, from Christopher Columbus to like, why? Like, as a kid, I was like, who cares? Franz Ferdinand? I mean, go get assassinated. World wars don't start. Why do we care that Franz Ferdinand got assassinated? But also, how does a war end at the 11th hour? What, like somebody had the loudest voice that echoed through all of Europe? It's over, and just everyone just stops fighting at 11 a.m. on 11/11. And think about it, it's all ones, World War I, and then again the Franz Ferdinand license plate, the end date of the war. I mean, what a joke we're living out, and people still think all this stuff's a coincidence. And it just shows you we live in stupid towns. So anyway,
well, you know, I think you probably mentioned the license plate before, but I forgot. But okay, I was going to share something else, but you have other people waiting, so maybe I can pick it up next time. Well, this is a teaser. I had a question for you. Have you ever seen the 1978 film Gray Lady Down? Gray Lady Down? Yes. It's with Charlton Heston, David Carradine, Stacy Keach, and some fairly well-known actors from the time.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so if you like, I would suggest you check it out if you're interested, because without giving the plot line, it has to do with the use of an experimental submersible, which had just come out in the late 1970s, and is involved with a rescue operation, but it creates another problem. And the skipper of the submarine skippered by Charlton Heston, and the skipper of the submersible is David Carradine. And I'm sure that's another conversation in and of itself. Who you may now? Okay, I'm dating myself, but he made a name for himself back in the 70s, where he did a TV show called Kung Fu, where he played a Chinese man who came to the U.S. looking for his brother. But the role was supposed to be played by Bruce Lee, but for whatever reason, that didn't materialize, so they cast Carradine instead.
I see, huh? Okay. I'll have to look more into it. It's another one I haven't seen.
Oh, okay, because it has to do with, as I said, the submersible and, rescuing a downed submarine. And of course, I would talk about the Simpsons episode from 2006, and I'm sure you've covered that before.
I haven't. What is it?
Okay, there's a Simpson episode. I don't know what number it is from 2006, where I guess Homer Simpson discovers his real broke dad, and it turns out that he's an eccentric billionaire. And so, to have fun, they decided to take a couple of submersibles down to Titanic, but there's a disaster.
Huh. Okay. No, I wasn't aware of that.
Well, anyhow, I've gone on it a bit long, so I guess I'll talk to Zinzak.
All right. I really do want to do that collaboration. So, the number that you call me on the show is the same number I'm supposed to call you on, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try again tomorrow. Is tomorrow a good day to call? And what time should I call at?
Okay. I see. Tomorrow's gonna be. Can we try again Friday? The earlier the better. You know, we're both in the position.
Early Friday. Okay, I'm going to call you early Friday, probably around 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to call you Friday.
All right. Thank you. We'll have a good evening, sir.
All right. Later, George. Let's go out to 810. 810, you're on. 810. 810, maybe just listening.
Hello?
Oh,
I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
How you doing?
Sorry, man. Hey, I'm doing okay. How are you? Hang on, let me get to another room here. Everything just busted loose as soon as you went to me. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So, couple things. Do you remember governamerica.com? Remember I mentioned that?
Yes, indeed.
Did you ever check that out?
A little bit, yeah. Get it back up here for
Okay.
people not aware.
There's got to be a way. The guy's name is Darren Weeks. There's got to be a way for you to contact him. You know what I've been thinking about? Every Sunday he plays these documentaries. And one of your most enlightening ones that I've seen is the, you'd mentioned him, the basketball player that died in the fake helicopter crash.
Kobe.
What the hell is his name?
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. If you send him that's what did you do, a 4.5-hour decode on YouTube the day he died?
Probably something like that.
You send him. It's a 4.5-hour decode. I'll never forget it. I don't remember all the details, but my buddy sent me that, and I was able to listen to the whole thing. Right, my phone played it for me, and I couldn't see it, but I could see it because you explained it so perfectly. If you send that to him, I'll bet you anything that he plays that on a Sunday as a documentary on Gematria and Kobe. Okay,
well,
that is the one that's going to get you on his show, I bet.
Well, I'd love to just go on there and talk about it, because I could do it in a shorter period of time with better content, because there's a lot more research since then. There were a lot of things I was missing at first, but
well, see, this is the deal. He has a 3-hour show on Saturday mornings that he does with this woman, Vicky. I don't know her last name, but everything else that's on that Govern America it's pretty much it runs itself. He puts shows up that are on the internet for free, and he just plays them on his, and he's got regular shows that are every day at the same time, but on the weekend, on that Sunday, he just plays these documentaries. So I can't get a hold of the guy. I got a phone number, but he don't respond to it. Now, last Sunday, traveling across the state, we got in some heavy storms, and I try not to miss those documentaries, because I can't listen on the computer. And we're traveling in the car. I dial a phone number, a listen line, and it plays. Well, it wouldn't connect. And I finally realized, wow, I wonder if I text him I texted him, hey, your listen line's been down since 4 o'clock. And then I tried it like 15 minutes after I sent the text, and it worked.
Huh.
And I'm like, wow, he must have seen that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know of, you could probably have a show on there. Would it be live? I don't know how he would work all that out, but you got to find a way to get a hold of this guy, because I think it's growing. It's a platform that's been there for I don't know how long, but I know he used to have his own show on Republic Broadcasting, and he started this after that when he got, something happened, and he might have had a disagreement with them or something some years ago. And anyway, he's on, that's what he does now. But my next thing I wanted to cover was what? Damn it, I forgot. Okay, you mentioned, people being slaves. Let me ask you a question, personal question. If I ask you if you're a U.S. citizen, what would you tell me?
I guess it's not good to use that language. I might just say yes, but
okay, and you've answered that question if you have a driver license, right?
Right.
That question's on that test or on that application. So we all answer yes. Are you a resident?
I would answer yes.
You would answer yes, but see, really, you're not. Now, I've been learning a lot here over the years, and I follow this guy, Roger Sales, Sayles. He's on a platform. He's on a bunch of different platforms, but he does a call Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. Eastern till it's 2 hours, 11 to 1, and he teaches people how to escape the matrix. He's got a website. It's called exposethematrix.com, and it links to all of his shows, all of his platforms. And what he does is he teaches people that the Civil War was the war that ushered in civil rights. They busted the 13th Amendment, the original, that would have never allowed Lincoln to be president, because Lincoln, his name was really Abraham Springsteen. His mother was a Jew, and he was not a self-taught lawyer. He was an attorney. And they busted that 13th Amendment, and they changed it. And then after the war, they brought in the 14th Amendment that made everybody in America Jim Crow. Okay? It enslaved America, blacks and whites. And those civil rights are privileges given by our God, the government, which became a corporation in 1871, 10 years after that war. Now, have you ever seen an United States of America passport?
Sure, I have one.
Okay, if the next time you have it in your hand, open it up. It says United States of America passport, okay? Now, on the front page or second page, the photo page, it's somewhere in there right in the beginning. It says, to whom it may concern, you, the holder, the bearer of that instrument, is not to be detained. And it says, you must be assisted in your travels if you need assistance. It also says U.S. citizen / national. Okay? You, my friend, are a national. You're born here, whatever all that means, born, birth certificate, all that crap. But Roger has a process in the application to become to get your United States of America passport. One of the
it's like the last question, or on the instruction page, there's 4 pages, I think. And on the last paragraph of the last page, it says that you may submit an affidavit with your application, but you better not lie because we check. Now, what does that mean? They say that you get to choose what your political affiliation is. Are you a U.S. citizen or are you a national? They don't want you to know that you can tell them who you are. And you put in your application or your affidavit, you basically say, and I'm going to paraphrase, I, being duly sworn, hereby declare my intention, I am a national and not a U.S. citizen. And then you put in your cover letter and you send this naked affidavit first before you fill out the application for the passport. You send it to the Department of State, to the head guy, the Secretary of State for the nation, because he's in charge of all that. And you tell him, to the head administrator, place my citizenship evidence in my file firmly, in my administrative file firmly and permanently. Okay? And all this is on this website. And you learn, pardon me?
The music's coming on. Stay with us over the break to finish this thought. It's good information. We'll be right back, everybody. Sit tight.
This is iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, song that's right.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes. Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone, or smart TV, and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
Okay.
Radio.
I'll see you there.
So you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
I feel like you're trying to get out of bounds.
I go hard. I go hard. If I was soft, I would not have gotten this hard. I go hard. I go hard. I go hard.
Familiar.
Yes, you are. I say, sit down, everybody. And they don't sit down. They refuse to sit down. They don't sit down. Sit down, everybody. And they don't sit down. They refuse to sit down. They don't sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. They refuse to sit down. They don't sit down. If I don't go all the way, if I don't win, because they mistake, but the rates that they pay, and money. If I don't look back and say, I wish I didn't do this or that, I'm not stupid. It's a fact. I never had a tweet. The thing that gets me in trouble is a retweet, or I look at the tweet, retweet, and respond to what they did to me. I'm not like that. It's not a one word tweet. I go hard. I go hard. If I was soft, I would not have gotten this hard. I go hard. I go hard. I go hard.
Familiar.
Yes, you are hard.
Mr. Trump, some have suggested that you refuse to release your tax returns because of your extreme privacy concerning your hobbies.
Yes.
So can you confirm or deny this list of personal pastimes?
Yeah, I guess so. But fingerboarding, I go hard. Minecraft, I go hard. Podiatry, I go hard. Hack and slash, I go hard. Balloon animal, I go hard. Breeding cats, I go hard. CrossFit. Waste of time. I go hard.
Doing Zumba,
I go hard.
water polo,
I go hard.
playing tuba, spray tan,
I go hard.
driving Uber,
I go hard.
running from my kids.
Waste of time.
While you're sequencing the entire human genome.
Waste of time. 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 Waste of time.
You must unite. What is the greatest? We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
You have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, True Seeker. We got 2 hours of show left. I see some new names on the call board tonight. Thank you to the new callers. There's 7 people in line after this caller who's about to finish their thoughts. Please be patient. I will get to your call. Looking forward to those new voices. And 810, you got interrupted.
Okay, Zach. By the way, George's audio, I can hardly understand a word he says every time he's on with you. It's really, I know he's got a lot to say, but I can't understand almost anything that he says. It's not audible. It's all fuzzy and reverberating. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know what.
Okay, we'll work on it. I'm sure George is listening. When he does a show with Johnny Cerrucci, Johnny's always going nuts because he can't hear George either. So for some reason, he doesn't have the best signal.
Okay. Anyway, for those, if everybody will benefit from this, even naturalized, foreigners that come here and they get naturalized, even they can do this. Okay. So the more of us that do it, the more power there is behind it. Okay. Now there's several million people. Roger's been teaching this for like 13 years. Okay. And again, the website is exposethematrix.com. I'm going to say it 2 more times. Exposethematrix.com. Exposethematrix.com. Now, there's a lot of great information on the website. And when you own the information, you can stand behind it, there's a lot of people out there. See, once you send in, what you do is you send in that affidavit with your cover letter by certified mail, return receipt, okay? And they claim that, the U.S. government, Postal Service, they claim once it's in the mail, it's received. But we wait until we get that green card back in the mail, that they got it, they signed for it. Now you can, wait a week or 2, and then you fill out that application and there's instructions on how to do it at that website. You fill out your app for your the only reason you need a passport book is if you're going to fly to Europe or something. Otherwise, they have a passport card. It's your new ID. It doesn't have your address on it. Sometimes they balk at it. But I'll tell you what, many years back when my wife and I did it, a couple of brothers that I know in Colorado, one of them is a truck driver, been trucking he's an owner operator. He's been doing it for over 20 years. he drove through an intersection, got in a wreck. It was his fault. Excuse me. And I wolfed down my dinner in between commercials here. But anyway, he got pulled. The state cop showed up, and he come up to him, and he handed him his passport card. And the cop's like, "What's this?" He said, "Oh, they told me to use that now." So he took that card. He went back to his cruiser. He comes back in 20 minutes or so, and he has, in Colorado, they print out a ticket with a little receipt, you know, like a cash register receipt, and it rolls up. Well, he gave him a ticket, but you have to sign for your ticket in Colorado. He didn't request his signature. He rolled up that ticket, the cop did, the state cop, and he shoved it in Jim's top coat pocket, on his chest pocket. And then he told him how to fight the ticket. Now, on the back of his semi-trailer, you know, there's that H bumper underneath the back doors. That thing had removed from one end of the truck, and it was swinging out into traffic. That state cop assisted Jim for 30 minutes in his travels. He helped him secure that bumper, and then he sent him on his way. He did not call DOT. And when, you know, these guys make their living off of these truckers, and they'll, anytime anything happens on the road, DOT comes in and they scour your truck looking for violations to nail you with. They didn't do any of that, and they sent him on his way. Huh. Now, there's hundreds of stories like this, other stories that are going to take up too much time, but I'm telling you, this is an answer to our prayers, and it really works, okay? Now, you copy that page you got there. Do you have your passport card?
No, I just have the booklet.
Just the book. And now that book, it lasts for 10 years, same with card. But you can reapply for a card, and you can correct it by doing that affidavit. You do it, you send it first, then you redo the application, and you don't have to go back in front of the postal general postmaster. You don't have to go to passport place. You just mail it in with your application, and you don't have to send all that stuff to. You send in your passport and whatever other information they want, and they'll send all that back. But you can correct that status and then add a card, and they'll send you your book back, and you know, blah blah blah. But the card becomes your ID. So everybody on the call, go to that website, exposethematrix.com, learn this information and do it, because this is our way out. And the more of us that do it, see, you know, that assembly that I'm with, some of the leaders, they say, no, don't do that. Well, guess what? Property can't own property. And when you are a U.S. citizen, and you see what that affidavit does, it rebuts the presumption that they've presumed you to be a U.S. citizen. You have to rebut that presumption. That's what that affidavit says. And it's all lawful and legal. And they have they cannot, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to give them a chance to rebut your affidavit, and they can't. They just can't do it. So check it out. It works. And like I said, the more of us that do this, the less power they're going to have. And this movement is growing by leaps and bounds. And that's all I got.
All right.
Any questions? Or
I'll look into it. No, I appreciate that information. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great show. Appreciate you.
Yeah. You have a good night. Thank you. Okay. Next up, 559. You're on. 559.
Okay.
559. Doing all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and talk about the Wagner thing. I don't know, I've always been really interested with military stuff, and it kind of caught my attention. The thing that stuck out to me was it's kind of similar to the January 6th insurrection. And I think that it really should have opened people's eyes to just how easy it would be to actually go in and overthrow these governments if we really wanted to, like you said. Instead of like 30, 40,000 people showing up at the game on Sunday to go watch the Commanders play, if they actually showed up on Capitol Hill to overthrow the fake Commanders, well, I think that'd be a lot better.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. And the funny thing is, that's probably what the people would be doing if they didn't have the football game. It's the football game that keeps them content. So.
Yeah, I was watching some other dude recently. He's kind of a new up-and-comer in the truth community. His channel is Elephants in the Room. He was talking about natural law, but he talked about his experience with sports, and he talked about how great he was, and he said he could have been as great as he really wanted to, but ultimately sports just held him back as an adult and stunted his development. You know, he said he didn't know how to do certain skills, and when he got out to the world, he had to learn what he could have learned when in the time he was playing sports.
Sure. You said the channel's Elephants in the Room on YouTube?
Yeah.
I think I found out which one it is. Does he have a picture of maybe him and his wife or girlfriend?
Yeah, that'd be him.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few channels with that name, but yeah, I see the topics. It seems like the right one. Okay.
The other thing too, I was thinking about the military. Everyone who joins it, I don't know if they just don't understand, but just by joining the military, you're just a hypocrite. Because I don't see how anyone could think that. Because as far as I'm aware, everyone who joins the military is sworn to defend the Constitution. How is it that you're defending the Constitution by joining an unconstitutional organization and helping the threats that you're sworn to defend against?
Yeah, it's because they're under the illusion that America's the hero. I mean, they went to their 13 years of slave school. They learned about how bad of a man Hitler was and how we saved the whole world from Hitler. And you want to be part of that American dream, saving the world from bad guys. I mean, that's what they're thinking. They're just buying all the bull crap, and that's what their head's full of. So.
Well, one thing for me that I think really kind of got me on that path was growing up with video games like Halo. Halo is just a game that glorifies the military and makes it seem like we need the military to defend from unknown threats, and the only way to do it is to become some sort of Spartan super soldier. And in real life, that's just joining the U.S. military. And, the Nazis did the same thing with the SS, the shoot stuff. Well, it stood for a lot of things, but one of the things it also stood for was super soldier. So, they just go there, they get some training, they put on a uniform, and now they're big bad guys.
Halo came out when?
Or good guys in their mind.
Halo probably came out when? About 1999-ish, somewhere around there?
It came out 2001.
It was 2001, huh?
Yeah.
I just remember I was in high school when Xbox came out, and I remember that was the big game. So, okay. Huh. Interesting. That was before 9/11 it came out. Interesting. The other video game that came out shortly after 9/11 that just blew me away, and I just saw exactly what it was, because video games were starting to look pretty real. That Call of Duty game, Modern Warfare, when it came out, it's probably about 5 years after 9/11, and you're fighting Islamic terrorists. And I thought, this is the perfect mind control weapon to, groom young kids for why they should be all they can be in the military and fight brown Islamic terrorists. So.
Absolutely. And that game, I think, just justifies Western imperialism as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as we know, is controlled by the Catholic Church. But another channel I think you should look at, I've been watching it for a while, and I always thought, I've never heard you talk about it at least. It's like you're kind of just missing a piece of the puzzle. You get the ancient knowledge of gematria, but I don't know if you've actually like looked into ancient tablets from Sumer and actually seen what they said. But there are some people on YouTube who I've kind of broken the truth seeker community into 3 categories. There's you guys, I kind of call you guys the decoders. And then there's the other guys who look into ancient history, and I watch them and I watch you, and it almost seems like you two communities are oblivious to each other.
Sure.
But I think that the biggest name, I mean, I'm not, because I watch them and they talk about sports, and just the way they talk about them, I don't think that they realize that it's actually rigged. Or if they do, they don't give off that impression.
Sure.
But one of the people I think that I don't know if you've heard of is Billy Carson. Have you ever heard of him?
I feel like I've heard the name before, but is this person on YouTube or?
He's on a lot of different things. He's on YouTube. He also has his own website. You probably have seen him before because he's one of the bigger names in the truth seeker community. And he talks about like what I was talking about, the ancient civilizations and the knowledge they bring.
Okay.
But
Is
another guy would be,
this channel Forbidden Knowledge?
yes, that'd be him. He has a lot of different people on his channel.
Okay.
Another person be Matthew LaCroix. He also talks about ancient civilizations.
Okay.
And I think both those people, you just listen to a little bit of what they say. I think it would help you understand the bigger picture of things a little bit more.
So like what bigger picture thing are we missing over here?
Well, I know you talk about the Jesuits, and they are a thing, but I think that the thing above them that I've heard you talk about them before, but just not very much, is the ancient gods of the old world of Mesopotamia. These are the people who the Jesuits and these other globalist organizations are really serving in their own way. Just based on my research, they've really clung to the methods that was said to be given to us by the gods, methods like government and religion and money, all things attributed to the gods of Mesopotamia. They still use the same systems today and are actually making them far worse than they've ever been.
So, okay, like, so we show every day how things are synced with the Pope and Superior General, and the world's going by the calendar named after the Pope. So who are these people?
Well, you know, God like Enlil, I've heard you talk about Enlil and how he's God of the sky. These things, these gods of the ancient world, these are the actual factions or beings that these people are actually living up to, and they work to create their world.
Sure. So they're serving these entities.
Yeah, and whether even if they're not.
So
real,
hold on, I just gotta. All right, hold on.
What,
I gotta stop right there. Okay, so I'm not disagreeing with you that that's what they're doing. I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing. But if you stop the organization that's doing it, like the Jesuits, which is what I'm laser focused on, does it matter what entities they're worshiping?
I don't think so.
So
But
then what's the point of doing this? See, that's the thing about what I'm about. I'm about stopping the thing that is creating the crimes. Like I don't feel like I need to know every last thing about them. It's just like I prove my point every day about what's going on in this world, who the rituals are being performed by, who's running the show. Yeah, there's more to their spirituality and their darkness, But all of that starts to get into kind of like the trivial matters. I mean, my message is, look, here's who's manipulating this world. Let's do something about it. You know, I could get into and here's why they did this in tribute to Enlil and all these other names. But does that, I mean, is that more motivation for why they need to be stopped? I don't think so.
Well, I think that it's more information that would help open a lot of people's eyes if they were willing to take in the information that are opposed to stopping the powers that be. Because I think, like, if a lot of Christians, for example, you know, if Christians realized that they were actually worshiping polytheistic deities based on Babylon,
They'll never admit that, though, right?
origins,
There's so many people have come from those angles to try and enlighten Christians to what their religion's really about, what it's based in, and look at what Christians do. They just say no, that's wrong, that's been debunked, even though it hasn't been, and because it's the same thing with everybody, right? Everybody's just stuck in their ego. What they learned as a little child is what they want to continue to believe for all of their adult lives. And the average person just not willing to go against what they were brought up to believe. And then that's why there's all the quotes about, you know, give me the child until age 7 and I'll show you the man. And you see exactly what that is. That's why they start us in slave school at a young age. And they get us why our minds are impressionable. And they shape those minds to be the useful idiots. I mean, really, that's the best term I can come up with, the useful idiots that the average person becomes in this world.
well, that's what it is. It's a war of information. And, you know, people like you are definitely on the good side, and I do appreciate people like you. But if more people were willing to accept the information and find ways to break through their ego and accept things like I was just talking about, then I think that would encourage more people to show up at Capitol Hill instead of that FedEx Stadium.
Well, you know what? I'll agree with you at the end of the day, because you know what? The more information, the more knowledge you have, the more people you're going to appeal to. And yeah, I just wish there was more collaboration. All these people you bring up, I'd be happy to collaborate with them. And yeah, so
I think that it would be great. I think it would be great for the truth seeker community in general if you did.
Sure. All right.
But that's really about all I have tonight, Zach. It was nice talking to you.
All right. Appreciate it.
I have been listening to you about 10 years now, actually, but nice talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, you have a good night. Take care. Yeah, we're almost to the 10-year anniversary. 216. What's going on, 216?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Haven't heard you for a minute. What's up with the 13 moons?
What's going on, man? Yeah, you know, I'm always listening in. I catch a live stream, man. You know, I just, you know, like to sit back in the background, man, and hear everything that's going on, man. But a couple of things I want to bring up real quick. First off, a few callers ago, he was talking about, you know, the difference between describing yourself as a U.S. citizen or a national. And it's weird, man, because over the last week or so, I would say, I've been like checking out videos of people online who get pulled over by the police, state troopers, and they use this. You know, they use like their card, they give their identification to the cop, and these people, they don't have license plates, you know, and they use that, you know, it's kind of like a universal consumer code, like the UCC type of talk, you know, to whereas, you know, almost the mainstream media would probably try to connect it to like the sovereign citizen type of movement, or like a Moorish type of assessment towards like going towards the law. But yeah, but it works though, man. These videos I've been watching, the police troopers, you know, they give them back their stuff and they basically tell them to go about their way. So whatever that caller was talking about, man, I know he's a regular caller. There's definitely some validity to what he has been saying, because I've been running across those videos on YouTube lately. But something else real quick, and I'll jump off. Me and my old lady, we were talking about the movie Friday. Like, this was like a month ago, right? This was like a month ago. We were talking about the movie Friday, and you know how old we were when the movie came out. And so I looked it up. We looked it up, and we realized that, you know, the movie came out, it debuted or released on April 26th. I think it was like 95 or 96, one of those years. And it was like the 28th year anniversary. Well, you know, my old lady, she knows I listen to you, like other people in the community, you know, so she automatically asked me, okay, what does that number mean? You know? So me, I tend to gravitate towards, you know, I guess you want to say like the negative side of the numbers, because that's typically how everybody in the community can present the, let's say the number 34, you know, connected to suicide or murder or death, or 3383. You know, we know that there's a lot of different words, you know, positive words that sum to the same numbers, but we tend to like focus on the numbers in a way that, you know, the people who rule over us use the number. So yeah, I was like, oh, 28-year anniversary, you know, that's the kill number. So, you know, something could happen, you know, to the cast of Friday. This is the conversation I was having with my old lady about a month ago. So I told her specifically, I was like, okay, well, this is how we'll tell whether something's going to happen. This is my first question that came to my mind. This just goes to show how long I've been, you know, following you and everybody else since about 2016, man. So my mind is automatically geared towards this path. But I told her, okay, well, look, let's check out 59 or 60 days after the release of the movie, which is April 26th, and then we'll see what's in the news. And for some reason, 59 and 60 was just the first two numbers that came into my head, you know, because how those two numbers are connected to, you know, Black people. And the movie Friday, obviously being a movie, you know, with a majority of Black cast.
Hold on. We got the commercial break.
I hear the music coming up.
Yeah. We'll be right back, everybody. Follow the Friday story with our 13 Moon friends. Sit tight.
Number 3, life is worthwhile if you stay. You got to learn to hang in there. You've got to learn to stay from spring till fall. Many people plant in the spring and leave in the summer. They're gone. First hot day. I thought sure John had lasted a month. Said, where is he? I don't know. Somebody said, boom, and he quit. Where is he? I don't know. I see, to win, you got to learn to stay. Just because you're behind in the first quarter, you can't leave. You got to learn to stay and hang in there. Guy builds a foundation. And then he walks off, wanders away, and builds another foundation. He never stays. He puts up the walls and puts on the roof. You got to learn to stay, hang in there.
It's amazing how people have been raving about iLife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iLife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil, but the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iLife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to iLife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's iLife.com, AYA life.com.
We exist in the security and comfort of our worlds. Paved paths, lights, and manicured lawns give us peace of mind that our world has been tamed, and we are its master. But other worlds exist on the edge of our sight. On the edge of our awareness, the shadows move. The woods fill with the unblinking eyes of the nightmares our ancestors warned us about. Some of us have stumbled into these forgotten realms, whether on purpose or completely by surprise. I'm Brent Thomas. Join us on the Paranormal Portal Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time as we journey into the world of the paranormal phenomena.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, it's TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back. True Seeker. I see a lot of new callers on the line. We are going to get to you. And just a reminder to callers, again, it's great when you phone in. If you can be more efficient with the phone calls, we'll get through more people. It's good to see that we got more callers tonight. And let's get back out to our friend in Ohio. We haven't heard from in a moment. You're on, Ohio.
Yeah, so to finish up my point, Zach, I told my old lady that, this was about a month ago, that let's look forward 59 to 60 days after the movie release to see what happens in the news. And I told her, hey, we could see a possible death because it's 28-year anniversary and number 28, associated with the word kill. Now, no one passed away. However, on a few days ago, on 6/25, which was the 60th day after the movie release, Ice Cube, which was the star of the movie Friday, went viral all over the internet, talking about, he has a basketball league that he's a founder of. It's called the Big Three, whereas, former NBA players, they come and play in, his league, the Big Three, and it's like a new thing. But the point I'm trying to make is how valuable the knowledge is and how kind of really programmed, I am and we all are, and just how we use this knowledge on a day-to-day basis, that I was able to tell her that just in a random conversation, hey, let's look 59, 60 days after the movie release and see what happens in the news. And sure enough, 60 days later, Ice Cube is viral in the news. So that's pretty much
the real
all I had
ritual for
tonight,
that
man. I
movie.
just wanted to relay that story.
Yeah, the real ritual for that movie is probably going to come 36 years after its release. That's the big Friday number, 36. Friday equals 36 forwards and backwards. And that even might be Ice Cube's expiration date. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, Zach, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Let's go out to 607. 607.
Yo, wanted to talk about Ryan Mallet. As we know, yesterday had the 76 date numerology.
Right. He was.
And yesterday was also.
He was drafted in the 76th NFL draft, dead on a 76 date numerology. Today's 77 date numerology. MLB game right now is an extra innings tied 7-7. Go ahead.
Yesterday was 76 days until the first NFL Sunday as well.
A span of 76, yeah. Yeah, I talked about that this morning.
And I was looking back at Ryan Mallett's college career, and he got injured on the day leaving, 76 days left in the year. When he was the quarterback at Arkansas in 2010, he gets injured on the day leaving, 76 days left in the year. And guess who he was injured against? He was injured against Auburn, whose quarterback at the time was Cam Newton. And this was a clear, maybe people don't see it now, but they will in the future. But after this decode, they should clearly see how this was clearly synced up with Cam Newton because he gets injured against Cam Newton. Auburn, that game against Arkansas, Auburn had 65 points. Like Mallet's birthday is 6'5". And there were 108 total points. Cam Newton equals 108. Cam's next win, it's going to be his 76th win. And if you, to the caller or the listeners out there, Cam Newton was in the draft with Ryan Mallet. Cam went number 1 overall that year, 2011, like the number 211. And 211 is the 47th prime. Yesterday was 47 days after Cam Newton's birthday. Huey P. Newton died at age 47. Mallet was the 74th pick in the draft. Black Panther Party equals 74. Founded in Oakland, California, 74. But the New England Patriots drafted Ryan Mallet. And New England Patriots is a match with Huey Percy Newton. And they both equal 217, like Huey P. Newton's birthday was February 17th. And what do you know? Yesterday was 130 days after Huey P. Newton's birthday, like Human Sacrifice 130, or the 131st day of Huey P. Newton's age, like Super Bowl 131, Championship 131. Cam Newton born on the day, the 131st day of the year. Huey P. Newton born on the day leaving 131 days left in the
You
year.
mean he died on the day leaving
But-
131 days left in the year. Huey P. Newton equals 131.
Exactly. And Huey P. Newton was born on the 48th day of the year. Black Panther equals 48. But so I decided that because of the connection with the New England Patriots and Mallet, I decided to check how long it was since the Patriots released Cam Newton back in 2021. They released him for Mac Jones, which is a fucking reason the NFL is a complete joke. You're going to take fucking Mac Jones, fucking mac and cheese, just a complete fucking joke. But from the day the Patriots released Cam until this news yesterday with Ryan Mallet, a span of 666 days. 666. And there's no, being that 58 was so big in the year that, what I'm saying is the Black Panther Party is definitely going to be synced up with this NFL season. This Ryan Mallet story was connected to Cam. Just, he gets injured against Cam on the day leaving, 76 days left in the year.
But for the record,
And
if
sure
anybody
enough,
wants to look up that box score, I just did. It was the day leaving, 76 days left in the year. Funny thing is, when he got hurt, he was 10 for 15 on the date 10-15. Come on.
It was 10-16.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, you're right. All right, never mind. You're right.
10-16. And that year, Cam won the Heisman. He won the Heisman Trophy. And the New England, Auburn ended up beating Oregon in the national championship game. And the Patriots this year, their first draft pick was a cornerback from Oregon. And that national championship game was on January 10th. Like Panthers 101, you can write the date January 10th, 10/1. But that national championship game was 38 days before Huey P's birthday. Panthers 38.
And again, just so people again, you got to remind people, because you haven't hit the number that matters for the Black Panther Party. Again, Huey P. Newton equals 58. Cam Newton was the 58th quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. This year's Super Bowl 58. Ryan equals 58. So, again, that's why we're expecting somehow this narrative to tie back in this year, just like it tied in the year that Cam Newton lost to Denver Broncos and number 58 Von Miller in the Super Bowl in the Bay Area where the Black Panther Party was founded.
Thanks for adding all that in. And Cam's next touchdown will be his 271st, the 58th prime. I'll be just very shocked if Cam doesn't work his way into the narrative this season. And if there's anybody out there that's saying, Cam, like, he's done, like, he's washed up. I mean, the guy is 34 years old. You can tell it's clearly scripted that they fucked this guy's career up, because he should still, if the NFL was legit, I used to be a diehard Panthers fan. Now I just see how much of a fucking joke it is. Because if the NFL was real, Cam Newton would be the fucking Panthers starting quarterback still, not Bryce Young. Bryce Young is the Panthers quarterback now. He's fucking short, so short. He looks like he's in middle school. And he went to Alabama, the biggest rival for Cam Newton's school, Auburn. They're just completely just fucking reality up.
Well, here, and also just remember Jerry Richardson, who was drafted by Baltimore in 58 and who founded the Carolina Panthers. He died right at the start of this offseason. So, yeah, I imagine the narrative will come together somehow this season. It seems quite predictable. And, I love how you bring everything back to Cam Newton. Cam Newton is the center of your universe, but
I have to argue that point though. It's like I would only see this being like I did used to be a big Cam and Panthers fan, but like, is this? Am I only seeing this because I'm being biased, or like, is this really what the ritual is? Because it seems to me like you can make anything add up. But what I'm saying is this really is about Cam. Like, it seems like it's about the Black Panther Party 58, because it wouldn't. I mean, Mallet got hurt against Cam. I mean, that's as clear as a connection as you can get. On the day leaving, 76 days left in the year, he gets hurt against Cam.
Sure.
I mean, that's not just being, oh, you're just a, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like, oh, you're just a Cam fan, like just making everything like line up back to Cam. What I'm saying is, no, like, I'm pretty sure something big with him's coming up. But
I won't be surprised if he returns to the NFL. Yeah, again, he's relatively young. We got quarterbacks playing into 40. He just turned 34. And special number there, Black equals 34 like Maryland. And the Ravens quarterback does have a tendency to get hurt. So they got Huntley the backup. But yeah, I mean, that's with the Jerry Richardson death, it's plausible that he ends up playing on that team this year. It wouldn't shock me. And yeah, no, I'm saying you're making good points. The center of your universe is Cam Newton. And to go back to the other point that you made, yeah, Cam Newton. I mean, anyone who's watched the NFL, it's like you can't even touch a quarterback anymore. Everything's a penalty. It's like they've said, you should dress these guys up in skirts and dresses. You know, Tom Brady, you can hardly even breathe on him. But man, Cam Newton, people go helmet to helmet with that guy all day. He gets lit up all the time. No flag ever. He's like a human piñata. And it's just, again, it's the racist side of the NFL, and it's so obvious. And again, it's another reason why people shouldn't even support these leagues, just how sick of a joke they are. But yeah, appreciate it, man. Good observation there on Mallet and Cam Newton. Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right. Yeah, have a good night. Okay. Let's go out to, I think we got a new caller from Flint, 810.
Hello. What up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, man. What's good, Zach?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, shit. I'm not sure, bro. I've been listening to you a lot. This is my first time calling in. I've been following you since I followed you on that when King Von passed away. You made that video. That's when I first found about you.
Okay. Yeah, time flies.
But shit, man. I bought your fucking book and shit. I'm still reading that motherfucker. With the the coronavirus one.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot of great information in that, man.
Thank you.
Hey, but look, check this out. So look, I'll be making music, and it's an app called BandLab. So look, it was a popular artist on there, and his name was Woozy the Goat. So he had killed his grandparents, and it made a TMZ headline. But like he wasn't like no man, he wasn't like no big rapper or nothing like that. He was just like a little regular guy, but he made really good music, honestly. But I was just trying to see if it had any type of like weird ass you know what I'm saying, ties with anything. Like I've been trying to learn the code and trying to decode things myself and everything, but honestly I'm just not there yet, honestly. But I'll be watching you all the time and still, you know what I'm saying, I'm paying attention to stuff, so you feel me?
Yeah, I'll go back and look at this story for you. St. Louis rapper Woozy the Goat accused of murdering grandparents. This happened back in March. Yeah, I didn't cover it at the time, but I'll take a look at it. I'll do a post on it. So, yeah,
that's what's up, man. Other than that, bro, like shit, I've been supporting you and everything. I've been trying to tell all my people about you and everything. They think I'm crazy and shit, but I be like, y'all crazy.
Indeed, yeah. I know how that goes.
But shit, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, this is my first time calling in, so I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty dope and shit, man. It'd be nice to meet you sometime, but shit, I don't know. But other than that, bro, just keep doing what you're doing and keep sharing the work and everything. I'm gonna keep sharing it too, so I'll keep it short. You feel me?
Okay, I do want to come out to Missouri, so look for my update on Woozy the Goat. Oh, you're in Michigan. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the Missouri rapper, but Michigan. I was in Michigan last year. Flint. How far is Flint from Detroit?
Hour.
Yeah, I was in Detroit last year. I'll come back through there. I'd like to go to Flint. I got things to talk about in Flint, so there'll be another road trip again, and I'll make a point to make it to Flint next time. So it'll happen.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome, man. But shit, man, keep grinding, bro. Keep your head up, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Okay, appreciate it. You have a good night. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Yep.
All right, let's go out to 916. Your own.
Back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It's Jesse in Sacramento, bud.
The Jesse who I text message with?
No, you remember when you came out here? I'm the one.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, who brought out his son. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, okay.
Hey, so check this out. So as you can tell, my voice is kind of going out because I've been pounding pavement for like the past 2 weeks straight.
Awesome.
I finally picked up my bullhorn, man. That's been sitting there for like since the very beginning. I bought this bullhorn, but it's been sitting there on my dresser because I haven't been ready. But 2 weeks ago, I just got this fire in my ass, man, to get up and start pounding pavement. But the problem is, I'm out here pounding pavement on all the corners of Sacramento. I've hit a lot of them up, but the problem is there's nobody standing behind me. My son, he came out with me a few times. I have an advantage out here because I have a few topics that I can hit up on, and you already know what those topics are. One of them is Gavin Newsom in the 56. You know, when he came out with that article, the 56% of California getting COVID within 8 weeks, and we know all the 56s. Another one that I have that I use a lot too is we're in California, so everybody, well, not just California, but most everybody knows Kobe Bryant, and then we know the 41s with him. I bring that up when I'm out there pounding pavement. Another one is LeBron James in the 38th. I always get that 38 when he passed Kareem in points, right? The 38,000 points, and at 38 years old on the 38th day of the year, scoring 38. So I take that and I take it all the way to who won the finals, which was the Denver Nuggets, which is the 38th state in the nation. So a lot of people, they hear me saying that, and that opens up a lot of people's eyes. I bring up, like I said, I'm out there pounding pavement, promoting mainly your channel because I know the other guy was talking about getting deeper into. The thing is, Zach, one of the things I bring up is how the smartphones, man, they're called smartphones for a reason, and they came out, and what they ended up doing is stupefying America. So to get really deep into, like, let's say going into like entities and all this other stuff, now you're really going too deep for the people because, in all honesty, man, the people of of this nation and probably the whole world, man, have been really stupefied by all this technology and all these smart devices. So I like your approach, man. You get right to the source of it. You know, calling out these. My main thing going out there pounding pavement is calling out the people that are. My main thing is the religion, man. The religion. And a lot of these religious folks, man, they're stuck in a box, and they are so prideful and full of ego, thinking that they know the truth. They are the biggest hypocrites around, and these people need to be called out, man. Because, like you say, when is Jesus praying to Jesus going to be not enough? When are people going to stand up and stand up to these tyrants, man, and have courage? What happened to land of the free, home of the brave? That doesn't exist no more. People are cowards. They don't want to stand up. They're afraid. They're scared. You know what? At the end of the day, if I lose my life out there in the streets because I wanted to stand up to tyrants and for the good of humanity, not just worrying about my own family, but worrying about everybody's children, everybody's family. But that's the problem. We're in a problem of nothing but a narcissistic society, which is basically sociopaths and psychopaths that only care about themselves. Nobody cares about anybody else. My son heard me talk to you the other day on the phone when I called in, and I said, son, how did I sound talking to Zach? He said, Dad, I feel like you're holding back, man. And I go, you know what? You're right. I go, but the only reason why I feel like I hold back with you, Zach, because I have a lot of respect for you, my man. Because, man, look what you're doing, man. You're doing it. You're fearless. You're out there. You're courage. And man, people aren't doing that. We need more people to stop talking and get up and do something, man. If you guys are decoding at home and decoding for your own benefit, that's wrong too. Go out there and spread this knowledge to wake people up, man. We got knowledge. Let's share it, man. Let's give it out. Don't be selfish and keep it to yourself. Let's spread it out so we can wake up America, and not only America, this whole freaking world, man. That's all I wanted to say. I think I said enough.
Indeed, that's really awesome to hear. That inspires me, and very, very cool that you're out there doing that. And more people will find their courage just like you. And that's the good thing about going out and meeting people. I mean, it'll help inspire others to do the same thing. And it's like when I was out on the streets of Yakima for nearly 100 days straight, it made a few other people in the community go out and start doing on their corner. And I'm serious, you guys. I'll keep saying it again. The day the world's going to change is when there's groups of people in front of every sports stadium, in front of every government building, and they're convening day after day, and they're getting out there and spreading the word about what's really going on in this world, who's running the show, and why we need to stand up for our rights and liberties and stop playing the game. And the caller earlier who was saying how you can change your passport to be a national instead of a citizen. To me, that's the game, right? Like you can do that stuff so you're less in the game. But to me, I'm not that motivated to do that because the game's still going on. My motivation is to get enough people to stand up and end the game and end the tyrants who are playing this game with us, so I don't have to worry about what the verbiage is on my passport. And again, it can happen if enough people stand up and get out there. If enough people got up and actually, like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh, get up, stand up, there will be a major difference in this world. And good for you. And you know what? Just for all the Christians who always get butthurt because they don't like that I'm not on the same page with them. When we had our Sacramento group come out, including this gentleman and his son, there was another gentleman who came out with his friend, and his friend brought several people. And one of his friends was very Christian, but he was also very cool, and he was about getting up and standing up. So, I mean, you can be Christian and believe in Jesus and still get out there and do the right thing as well. It's just a lot of Christians aren't like the guy who came out. They're just thinking they're waiting for Jesus, and Jesus is going to solve all the problems. So he was my kind of Christian, the guy who came out in Sacramento. But a lot of Christians aren't like that. Again, that they're waiting for somebody to come solve all their problems, which is exactly what the tyrants want, for you to just be waiting for your savior rather than you being the savior. So, hey, don't wear out that voice, and really glad to hear. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, maybe if you want to attract the Sacramento community that came out, we know they're out there. A great group came out that day. Maybe go on the Free to Find Truth website and post your event and just keep doing it and seeing if it catches any of their eyes and they come out and pound pavement with you, because we had a good group out there. So I got to imagine some more of those guys will come out if they know that you're doing this.
Yeah, I got a guy's number. I actually called him today, and he's going to have a couple guys give me a call. to see if I can hook up with them. But yeah, I think I'm just kind of preparing to maybe I can give you some help, speaking on the mic when you come to, if you're still coming. I'm not sure if you're still coming to LA or not, but
I should be. I'm frustrated and I'm worried if I go down and do it again, sport's going to fall off even more. But another part of me is like, but it needs to be done, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, I still anticipate I'll be down there.
Okay. All right, Zach, man, I just wanted to just kind of call in and just thank you, man, again for all that you do, and thank you for changing my life, man. And because I tell you what, from where I am now to where I was before I came to your knowledge, and man, I am not the same person. I have this fire and passion in me to not only like wake up people to this knowledge, but also as, I don't know if you're a parent out there, or, not only a parent that maybe you have like a cousin or nephew, whatever, you're older, and to be a role model, but also to like go out there and inspire, encourage, and motivate people like these young men and women, because man, the way things are going, man, it's just looking worse and worse, and it's because of lack of real men and real women out there to motivate and inspire and encourage our younger men and women, man, that are going to be the next generation, man, coming up. So the way it's looking, it's not looking too good for that next generation. If we're even here, man, who knows where we're going to end up. But that's all I have, Zach. Appreciate it, bud.
Keep up the great work, Jesse. Thank you to you and your son.
All right, man. Thank you, bud.
Yeah, you
have a good night.
There's Bob Marley. We'll be right back, everybody.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, a song that's right.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
Radio.
I'll see you there.
So you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Refuse to produce the network routers. We want the routers, Sonny. The county refused to produce the network routers. When do we gotta get those routers, please? The routers. Come on, Kelly, we can get those routers. Those routers, wow. If you got those routers, what that will show. And they don't want to give up the routers. They are fighting like hell. Why are these commissioners fighting not to give the routers? How simple can it be? That will tell the truth. And they don't want to give up the routers. What are they trying to hide? And I say it, and I'll say it, because the easiest way of cheating is to throw them away. That's easier. The county has refused to produce the network routers. We want the routers, Sonny. The county refused to produce the network routers. When do we gotta get those routers, please? It's so unfair. It's so unfair. It's so ridiculous. I'll be honest now. Look, we all like to win. If I lost this election, I could handle it pretty easily. I'm in 24, sir. You're going to win. And I say, wait a minute. I just won 6 months ago. The big lie, they call it. Those things are unproven. And knowing what happened in the election is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing. The county has refused to produce the network routers. We want the routers, Sonny. The county refused to produce the network routers. When do we gotta get those routers, please? If you think about cancel, everything about cancel culture, they want cancel culture. But what they don't want to do is anything having to do with the 2020 election. We have no press. We have no voice. They almost got away with it. They may have gotten away with it. And I gotta say this. I've never said it before, but I've always thought it.
I get along with Putin because that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
But you refuse to produce the.
Wherever you are, make it see. Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right. For my man who just called in about Woozy the Goat, I looked up the murder date for his grandparents. It was March 21st, written 2-1/3 in the majority of the world, like 213. Again, that's the number of death and killing. Tupac Shakur is a great example. Put out All Eyes on Me on February 13th, 213, then died 213 days later. Of course, death equals 213 in Satanic, and drive-by shooting also equals 213, which was what his death was related to, a drive-by shooting. So let's get back out to the callers. We've got an hour show left. Please stay on hold if you've been patient. Want to hear all those new voices. 480, you're up first.
Yo.
Yo.
This is me. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, so you're wanting to go after the Jesuit order, man. You got to focus on Ganymede. He's there. Are you familiar with him?
What?
Ganymede, the Greek figure, archetype, cupbearer.
Not really. Tell me more.
So Homer and the Iliad, you're familiar?
Right.
8th century BC. I'll quote it real quick for you. Ganymede was the loveliest born of the race of mortals. Therefore, the gods caught him away to be Zeus' wine pourer. Right?
How do you spell Ganymede?
Ganymede.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And then that was from the Iliad. And then this is from the Dictionary of Greek and Roman Biography and Mythology. I'm just going to read you like the last little bit of it, but it has a whole passage on Ganymede. But Ganymedes was an appellation sometimes given to handsome slaves who officiated as cupbearers. Okay. And then, are you familiar with like Suetonius, the 12 Caesars?
No.
It was written in 121 AD.
Okay.
So pre-Nicene Creed. And it's talking about like the Roman emperors, Roman history, you know. And it's talking about Mark Antony and what was his name? Oh, Augustus. So as a youth, this is Suetonius writing about him. He said, as a youth, he was reproached with various sexual improprieties. Sextus Pompey taunted him with the charge of effeminacy, while Mark Antony accused him of unnatural relations with Julius Caesar as for the price of his adoption. So he's basically being propagandized like as Ganymede, as Caesar's Ganymede. And in history, when Caesar was assassinated, he left everything in his will to him. But I mean, obviously he like paid out people as well, but everything in his will was left to him, and he was the risen son, Caesar reborn, you know, in history. And in the propaganda, he was accused of being Caesar's Ganymede, like, oh, you slept with him for power, you know what I mean?
Sure. So again, you're saying if we want to go after the Jesuits, we need to focus on this. What's the strategy of focusing on this?
Well, yes, I was just giving you the background. It's the pre-Nicene Creed. Now we're going to start in the Bible, all right? All right. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, so, Mark 14, 32 to 36. They went to Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter and James and John along with him. He began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he said to them. "You stay here and keep watch." So it's being portrayed that he's separating himself. He's going forward alone. He's feeling some type of way, right? Going a little farther, he fell to the ground, prayed that the hour might pass from him. "Father, everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me. Yet not what you will, but not what I will, but what you will." So we have a mention of a cup while Jesus is alone in the garden. Okay. Are you familiar with the secret gospel of Mark?
What about it?
Well, it's a Gnostic text. It's attributed to Clement of Alexandria, who was like a church father pre-Nicene Creed as well. But it makes reference to, it's obviously the book of Mark, like an extension that's not in the current, Nicene Creed Bible. But there's a passage from it, and it said, "The young man looked on him and loved him, and began to beseech him that he might be with him. They came out of the tomb and went into the young man's house, for he was rich. After 6 days, Jesus laid a charge upon him. And when evening came, the young man comes to him with the linen robe thrown over his naked body. He stayed with him that night, for Jesus was teaching him the mystery of the kingdom of God."
Okay, so we want to go after the Jesuits. How does this help us?
So pirates in the first century, Strabo, he writes a lot about them. We know pirates up until the 18th century were making money from trading slaves, right? Human trafficking is what we would say in our modern tongue, English, how we understand it, right? That's what pirates are known for, right? And the Rosicrucians were, one of the last breeds of pirates going into the modern age.
So now we're on pirates and slavery, which is different than what we were just talking about. So straight answers,
No,
okay?
it's not, because Mark is 1448. Continuing in Mark 1448, Jesus said to them, "Have you come out against me as a robber with swords and clubs to capture me?" So imagine the cops confront a suspect. Before even interrogating him, he says, "What, you think I'm a robber?" That's a little suspicious, right? He just admits that or questions that. That's the first thing that comes out of his mouth. If you take that Greek word, lehistes, it could mean pirate, or it can mean to carry someone off as booty, according to PerseusTufts.edu. So that's the first thing that comes out of his mouth when he's questioned, right? So, how many times in a month do you see a pastor pleads not guilty to yada you? You know what I'm saying? And then we'll go to the last verse we're going to look at. So we started in Mark 14:32, right? We're going to end in Mark 52. You start Mark 51 through 52. A young man wearing nothing but a linen garment was following Jesus. Wait, I thought he told his disciples, "You stay here You three stay here. I'm going to go alone. Take this cup from me. And Wise now, wearing nothing but a linen garment, was following him. When they seized him, he fled naked, leaving the garment behind. And what did he say when they confronted him? I'm not a pirate. How do we translate that today? I'm not a human trafficker. Why are you coming at me with your tasers out? That's the first thing that came out of his mouth. We got to put that in the report, sir.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Again, everybody has their own ideas. To me, I don't see how that helps us with doing anything about the Jesuits. I didn't hear a single thing there that was logical. So let's go out to Athens, Tennessee. 423. You're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Zach, it's Amy. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Amy?
I'm doing good. I got one for you that came out this week. Epstein was in the headlines on the day, leaving 187 days left in the year, and it was 322 days after his death date when his name equals 322. They finally finished the report.
Say that again?
Oh, did you not hear me? I'm sorry, my dog's making noise. So Epstein was in the headlines. Can you hear me okay now?
I heard that part.
Okay, so he was in the headlines on the day, leaving 187 days left in the year. And it was 322 days after his death. They came out with a report saying that the jailers were wrong and the cameras were out, a big report. And then there was two other football guys are dead in the headlines today too. I've got them on the blog as well. But the one that y'all were talking about earlier with Tom Brady in Florida, it's completely synced with Tom Brady. If you go to the bottom of my blog post, it shows it's like, I think it's 38 days from Tom Brady's birthday and the day he drafted. Like it's sick. You'll just have to pull up the blog and look at it.
Let's get it up here. Okay. I got your site up.
Okay. I'm trying to watch on the phone and the computer at the same time. It's a little confusing doing that. Yeah, the one with Tom Brady, it's completely synced with Tom Brady. Like, then there was a guy today that was like, his brother's a Cowboys and he's dead. And then there was another one, I guess he broke his neck or something back in the day and now he's dead today too. Or dead the other day, of its headlines today.
Okay. I don't
think
see
the
the
Tom Brady one, you have to go on down.
I don't see
Yeah,
the Tom.
keep on going. It's down through.
It's down further.
Let's see. Yeah, probably so. Because I've got a bunch of them up there. Let me see if I got it pulled up here. Let's see. Let me try to see if I could put the link in there.
Oh, it's right here. Okay. Ryan Mallet.
You found it. Okay. Yeah, you covered most of the stuff that I've got at the top, but at the bottom is where I kind of get into Tom Brady and stuff on the bottom of it.
Okay. I know he died a span of 38 days from Brady's birthday.
Yeah, and the day that he actually debuted is like 118, I think, and Tom Brady's 118, and then Tom Brady's 35. He died at 35. Like, yeah, it's pretty synced with Tom Brady on that one. But I wanted to let you know about Epstein, and then the two new football players too, because I'm sure they're syncing up something with the Super Bowl, you know.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I got the Epstein story up here.
Yep. But that's what I want to let you know, and I'll let you get on to the rest of your callers.
Yeah, you do have it here. Brotherhood of Death, the alias for Skull and Bones, 187. Yeah, perfect ritual. Okay, great work, Amy. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome, sweetie. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Okay, Amy's YouTube channel, Crack Their Code, all one word together. Her website, cracktheircode.org, does great work. Let's go out to 814.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey. So I haven't called in a while, so I'm sure you've heard of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right?
Sure.
If anyone doesn't know, it's part of a Catholic church, a bell tower for a Catholic church in Italy. And so I caught something earlier that piqued my interest. They closed it in 1990 and for repairs supposedly, and reopened it in 2001. So I'm thinking Leaning Tower, that looks like it's always about to fall over. How interesting, for the numbers. So it closed on January 7th, 1990, and it opened on December 15th, 2001, which happened to be 11 years, 11 months, a week, and a day. But the interesting part is the dates. So from January 7th to December 15th is a span of 11 months and 9 days.
Mm.
If you measure from September 11th to January 7th, it's a span of 119 days. So it's definitely coded together. I just wanted to throw that out. I'll be quick.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Good observation.
All right, have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. All right, let's go out to 408.
All right, I got a couple of things tonight. First, I want to start off with LSU winning the College World Series the other day. So first off is on 39, date numerology, Tigers equals 39. Their manager, Jay Johnson, stayed on 39 losses as LSU manager. They allowed 39 runs in the College World Series. And tying in with the Jesuit connection, they got their 54th win of the season on the 177th day of the year. Just like how earlier this year, the LSU women's basketball team won their national championship on 4/2 with 187 combined points. And in light of the Skull and Bones ritual this year, the manager, Jay Johnson, his name equals 41, like Skull and Bones also equals 76, and this is the 76th college baseball tournament. And also a pattern that I've noticed. So 23 is the 9th prime, and in baseball, there's in the three major baseball championships: the World Baseball Classic, the College World Series, and the World Series. So in 2009, Japan won the World Baseball Classic, LSU won the College World Series, and the Yankees won the World Series. Here in 2023, Japan won the World Baseball Classic, and LSU has won the College World Series. And obviously we know, so I said 23 is 9th prime, 9 is a big number in baseball. You have 9 innings, 9 batters in a lineup, and so on. And I guess also that does tie in a little bit with, actually, never mind. But that's something to think about for the MLB postseason when we get there. If they continue that 23 is the 9th prime trend with the World Series, we'll have to wait, but we'll see if they do that. And second thing I want to talk about is the NHL draft was tonight, and the San Jose Sharks had 2 picks in the first round. And this is kind of mockery. So the first off, Sharks equals 76. And the first player that they drafted was born on the 76th day of the year. The 76th day of the year is March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. And they had the former Shark Patrick Marleau announce the pick. Like, isn't that just like they're mocking us like right in front of our face, and like only a few people see it. It's
Isn't it
really,
funny?
come on.
Isn't it
And then
funny
the
just
second
how
player
rich?
that-
Like why do they have to be so ritualistic? They are. It's their giveaway, but at the same time, it's like, why aren't more people catching on?
Right, and then what was even more mockery is the second player they drafted was born on 7/6. So that's just they love to do it, and we don't see it, unfortunately. And then the last thing is, I know last week I called in about the Rosicrucian Museum meetup thing. I've talked to Cuts. Cuts is maybe because he lives kind of far away, so it would be kind of a long drive for him. But even if I'm the only one there, I'll still make a video on my visit, and I'll see if there's like employees there or something that I can talk to and perhaps educate them.
Okay, yeah. freetofindtruth.com, paying a big bill each month. Hopefully, the point is to get people to network and organize. And so far, not really happening. But Evan's making the effort this month. Or I should say, beginning of next, is it days away? Saturday, July 1st. If you're in the Bay Area, he'll be there. So.
All right. Well, thanks, man. And I'll let you know what the Rosicrucian Museum is like in probably in the next couple weeks or so.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Evan. All right, let's go on to 772.
Hey, Zach, what's up? It's been a while.
Yeah, how you doing?
Pretty good. I've started my own business and I'm doing pretty good. I haven't really been around because I've been busy. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I had a decode for the news story. The whole David. Have you heard of it? Because I haven't seen you cover it on your website yet. The last time I checked, the David Grush alien like whistleblower thing
from
story.
May 1st, from 5/1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like conspiracy, like Area 51.
Right.
I noticed that his name, David Grush, was 56 and 70, like COVID. And, a lot of people have been saying, actually, including my dad, a long time ago, back in like 2015, 16, saying that there would be like a fake alien invasion or something. And they would like have everybody locked inside their houses. So, it could be a possible thing they do in the future. I also noticed because they stopped calling them UFOs and they call them UAPs. I noticed that what it stands for, unidentified anomalous phenomena, is 322. It's also 142 and 155 like coronavirus in the full and reverse reduction. And I thought it was something interesting. And while everybody was talking about that ridiculous submarine story that I'm not even gonna acknowledge because it was such a non-story, stupid thing that everybody was obsessed with. When that story was going on, the USDA approved lab-grown meat to be sold to the public.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week.
But that's all I have. My megaphone is in the mail. But it's gonna be in by like next month.
All right.
And I gotta contemplate it
Very cool.
where I am. But yeah, you have good luck. I look forward to seeing you in New York. So yeah, good luck. Don't get discouraged.
All right. Keep it up with the business. Glad to hear it. You have a good night.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Let's go out to 469, Texas.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Zach. How's it going?
It's going all right.
Good. Wanted to talk to you about just the NFL season that's coming up. I think this is something that you might want to hear. I know you've been talking about, the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens a lot, and I just want to bring up the other purple team in the NFL, the Vikings.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about tonight is there was a car crash in Minneapolis on this month, on the 16th. 5 women were killed. And it's very much connected to the upcoming NFL season for the Minnesota Vikings. Just wanted to talk to you about 2 numbers here, 55 and 71, numbers connected to car crashes, accidents, and just crash in general. As I was reading the story almost 2 Fridays ago, they said the car that hit them, the 5 women, it was going 55 miles over the speed limit. You know, we know car crash equals 55. Doing just some research about the governor of Minnesota and the mayor, Jacob Fry. The governor of Minnesota right now, he's 59. I know that's a number that's connected to accidents and car crashes. But the fun thing is, he took office on January 7th, 2019. From that day to June 16, 2023 is exactly 1,621 days, which is the 257th prime, the 55th prime.
Again, you haven't heard you say yet, but Minneapolis equals 55. I see this crash was in South Maples.
Yep, this is something that you might want to make a post on too. Absolutely guarantee that it's connected to the next NFL season for the Vikings.
Oh, hold on. I take it back. No, it was in South Minneapolis. I see. It's just an abbreviation. That's weird. South Minneapolis. Yep. Why do you think this is connected to the NFL season?
I'm getting to that part.
That'd be if you're gonna say that it's connected to the NFL season, it'd be good to go right to that part. Hold on, we'll be right back, everybody. Quick commercial break. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Do not settle for the average. Average is the grave in which excellence is buried. Average people strive to fit in, while excellent people strive to stand out. You can never change what you accept. You can never change what you refuse to confront. If you keep pretending that mediocrity is your best, then you will never proceed to excellence. You were not born to be an average person. This, therefore, is the challenge. We need to inspire people to not settle even when they seem to be successful. As a matter of fact, the greatest enemy of progress is your last success. When you settle on what you've done and believe you've achieved everything, you have just begun to die. Excellent people never settle for the average. Develop a deep commitment to excellence.
Discover the extraordinary powers of intuitive healing with pain transmutation, a method of holistic healing for the human soul, body, mind, and emotions. If you are looking for answers and a deep understanding of how to help yourself and the people around you to live a happier, healthier life, this is the right place for you. Learn how to read your soul's history in the Akashic Records. Remove negative energy attachments from your astral body and start the process of inner and outer pain transmutation. Join Pain Transmutation Community to get started on the path of intuitive healing. Change your energetic state, manifest new and exciting experiences, re-energize your life, and build inspiring connections with others in our community.
Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent from Strange World, broadcasting live every Tuesday evening, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Strange World covers a wide range of topics, from enclosed world theory to lunar waves to the end of the world in film. It's basically doomsday with a silver lining. With the audience as my co-host, we take an optimistic approach to all things conspiracy and promote confidence, hope, and humor whenever possible. If there's a topic you want us to cover or a guest you would like to see interviewed, please email me at msargent23@comcast.net. So please join me And tell your friends about Truth Frequency Radio, the leader in real radio programming, bringing you quality, cutting-edge broadcasts from around the world.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back. We're taking your calls. We got 30 minutes left, so if everybody can be efficient, we'll get through everybody who's on hold. And gentleman here thinks that 5 women killed in a car crash on June 16th in Minneapolis is connected to the NFL season. And why is that? Let's get to that point before we start decoding.
Okay. The reason why I think that is because of 2 reasons. We talked about the number 55 with the governor of Minnesota, how it's 1,621 days, which is a 257 prime and the 55th prime. But the Vikings played their last game on January 15th against the Giants, and there was 55 points scored in that game.
Again, big number. Again, big number with Minneapolis. Minneapolis equals 55. So does Timberwolves. So does Target Center where they play. Huge number with that sports team. And honestly, just hearing that 5 women died, the first thing I think of is the basketball team, since it's a game of 5-on-5 if it's connected to sports. But yeah, I don't hear how any of that fits in with football. 5 women dead, 55 is a huge number in Minneapolis.
Okay, here's the part. So from the day the crash happened, they died immediately on the scene, according to the police. June 16, 2023, to the day the Vikings play their first game, which is a home game, that's September 10th, 2023. That's exactly 86 days. And crash equals 86, human sacrifice equals 86, and blood sacrifice equals 86. It's also a span of 38 days before Jacob Fry's July 23rd birthday, or 37 days before accident has the connection with 157, the 37th prime, and Minnesota, 38, death, killing, murder, RIP. I wasn't in Minneapolis at that time, but some family members that were there at the funeral, they were telling me that Jacob Fry was there at the funeral, and he was there. The person that they're blaming the crash on is the son of a former Minnesota State Representative, John Thompson. So I know Jacob Fry is involved. Now they're involving the Minnesota State Representative. His son was also involved in another car accident in 2018, which he got charged in 2024 for a California lady that he permanently injured. And they're charging him with 10 counts of vehicle homicide, 55 to 10th prime. This happened at 10 p.m. that night. Super Bowl has that 41 connection. Tim Walz is the 41st governor of Minnesota. Jacob Fry is currently 41 years old. And looking at this from a sports point, the day the crash happened, the Minnesota Vikings were playing that day. Remember, I said it's 1,621 days after Tim Walz, the governor, took office, which is the 257th prime, the 55th prime. It's also exactly 71 days after his April 6th birthday. Car crash has that 71. The Minnesota Twins were playing on that exact night, I believe at home too. And I can't remember what team they were playing against, but the score of that game was 7-1. And the Minnesota Vikings came in that night 35-34, and they fell to 35-35. And car crash equals 35. So do you think it's still not connected to the sports and all that?
I mean, it could be. Yeah, I see that it made national news. It is
CNN and
interesting.
CBS.
So,
but I do advise that you might want to go back and make proper documentation and just kind of have that information just in case, because we know the Vikings went pretty far last season. Just a couple games, from the Super Bowl. They might even go even further and get to the Super Bowl. Who knows? But I do. Once I saw this, I thought it was just a random accident. But after local news did some work on it, then CNN came out with an update saying the guy who hit the girls was the son of a former Minnesota state representative, and then CBS did something on it, and I was like, okay, so there's something going on with this. And then that's when I discovered, Vikings last game was 55, the 55 connection with the governor, 38, a span of 38 days before the mayor's birthday. Minnesota Vikings playing on that same day. Score was 7-1, the 20th prime death.
well, again. I mean, I'm just trying to think where 5 would fit in. I guess the Vikings' next Super Bowl would be their 5th if they made it. The Vikings are an interesting team, and this year's Super Bowl logo is purple. I mean, I have been keeping an eye on them. There was speculation a couple months back that Lamar Jackson might go to the Vikings before the Ravens re-signed him. So, yeah, I'm not saying it's just, it's easier. Like when we have Len Dawson die 172 days before the Super Bowl and Kansas City Chiefs equals 172 his team. That's easier to say. Yeah, that's definitely connected to the NFL season. But yeah, possibly these 5 women. I'll look more into it. I'll have to see some more convincing Minnesota clues other than that story. Just like how bodies are piling up for Baltimore football players. So
yeah, I mean that's clear. The only reason why I looked into this further and I started looking into this was because, well, there's Somali and I'm Somali, and I had family members in that state calling me and talking to me about that. I had some friends in that state also talking to me about that. So
sure.
But my personal question for you is, I mean, this is just facts that I'm giving you. My personal question for you is, how do they do something like this? Like, how is this even possible? These 5 women, they're not connected to this cabal or industry. How do they get these 5 women, kill them on this perfect date, connected with the
That's
sport,
that's what I'm saying. That's why it's hard to say that story is connected to the NFL season, because these 5 women in a car are killed. I mean,
86 days before the Vikings play their first game, crash 86, blood sacrifice, human sacrifice.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But it's just
the Twins falling to 35 and 35 at home that same night, scoring 7-1. The crash numbers.
Sure. Okay, well, I'll continue to see what I see with the Vikings. I'll look more into this story because it did make national news.
Okay.
So, all right.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I know it slips through the cracks, but I appreciate it.
But again, when you guys present something like that, because it just listen, I can show all these Ryans dead on the same day, and people will think that's crazy. When you start saying 5 Somali women killed in a car crash is definitely connected to football season, you got to come with some you got to make the point it's a numbers game. The Vikings' next Super Bowl is their 5th. I mean, that's the way you need to be opening it up, and you didn't even make that point. So again, you got to present this stuff in a way that's clear and logical, and it's possible because I was just trying to figure out where 5 would fit in. Minneapolis is 55 town, but I'll look into it more. I appreciate the thought. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm just starting on doing some decodes, but I appreciate it, Zach. And you can look into that former Minnesota state representative. He's in the system. His son is connected to the crash. So I hope you can do proper documentation, and we can drop back on that.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Have a good night. Okay. Let's go out to, speaking of the Twin Cities, let's go out to the Twin Cities.
Zach.
Yes.
It is not murder. It is not murder to kill a heretic. And there is no salvation without the blood of a heretic. That's Jesuit. That's in doctrine. I mean, how many people understand that? How many people see, dare I say, the Roman Catholic Church in that light, or the hidden hand in general in that light, and pointing it out to the general public when it's in their own writings. I mean, I recommend people look up what's called moral theologians, some would call immoral theologians. You've got like Pablo Escobar, Emmanuel Pa, a few others that I can't even pronounce. I'm no scholar, I'm no religious scholar myself. But definitely have to answer your question earlier, to do about the Jesuits, I guess more education is needed. But, you know, pointing things out in their own writings doesn't seem to help, because it's somehow your fault if you point it out. So that's all I got for you, Zach. We can keep it moving.
All right. Appreciate the call. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Let's go on to New Orleans, 504.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm already Zach. The couple callers back, they was talking about the UFO. I'm pretty sure that UAP stands for unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Okay.
Am I right or wrong? Is there any way we could check into that just for people listening? Maybe we could correct that. I'm pretty sure that's what that means, right? I'm not sure what he said, but I know the middle word was, I don't think that was right.
It does say unidentified aerial phenomena in Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, so what he said, I wasn't sure what his numbers were based on what he called it, but I don't think I ever heard that.
Okay.
So maybe that can be recoded, or maybe, I don't know.
It was always UFO until recently. Now they got all these new acronyms.
Yeah, well, I mean, he kind of created another third one, so I didn't want to throw anyone off, because, I mean, I'd picked up right when he had started talking about it.
Okay.
But that's all. I wanted to say that, but I always think of this question off the top of your head. Do you know or think of, like, let's say your oldest decode, like, as far as like the first, like, the oldest decode that you know?
The first thing I ever presented was just
Like
the
as
list
far-
of
as far
74s.
back.
The list of 74s was the first thing I ever presented.
But what would be the date, like the oldest date that
August
you can think
August
about?
2013 is when I found this out.
Well, I mean, like, in history.
Oh, the oldest
Yeah, like that, yeah.
Off the top of my head,
Yeah, see, I always
but
wonder that
you
too.
know,
I'm
like here, just to make the
how far
point,
back-
Freemasonry's birthday just passed, right? Freemasonry's birthday is June 24th, 1717. Mason equals 17. We thought 17 would smash in baseball, and we thought it was Lock City in the 17th state that the Brewers would fall to 17 and 17 versus the AL. So, I mean, there's things that I've definitely decoded that are before that, but I mean, that's a good example. That's over 300 years ago.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I just randomly think about that all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
But
it.
again, I pointed out that
Makes
you
sense.
start this code within the English language in the calendar. It maps back to events in the 16th century, which is exactly when the Jesuits were created. So, you know, like
Yeah,
Ignatius.
that's why I was like, well, with all that being said, like, that's why I think to myself, like, I wonder where in our calendar, and like, our language, where could we actually pinpoint like what would be the first starting that we can actually document and say, hey, look, like obviously, you know?
Sure.
So
Well,
that's a good
again,
point, yeah.
16th century, lots of examples, including the death of Ignatius of Loyola. So,
Yep. That's all I had.
all right. Don't forget, New Orleans equals 54 to go with that 504 area code. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Take care. They're a team to think about with a big Catholic connection. Super Bowl 58 is the 54th of the modern era. They're going to make some moves this year. What's up, 443?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here listening to your one of your previous callers about 55 and the 5 women, and just thinking about how 5s have come up a lot in the news. Last week, the Navy heard that explosion of the sub 5 days before the news broke, and then I just saw today, the news broke today 5 days ago. Madonna was rushed to the hospital, found unresponsive. Just kind of curious how that came out today and not Saturday. I don't know if anyone heard anything about that.
Yeah, the bacterial infection. Her world tour is postponed.
Yeah. Right. And I didn't get too far in the digging with it, but it is kind of interesting that a lot of this news that's been coming out just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're telling me five billionaires are really that stupid? You could put a shark you could put a GPS tracker on a shark and track it up and down the East Coast. But you're telling me that 5 billionaires are that stupid to think they can't think of that? And a host of other shit. I'm tired of the people being asleep.
Look at this. Look at this. I just looked at the Madonna thing real quick. I got it already. So Freemasonry turned 306 years old on June 24th. And then the news breaks today, 306 days after her birthday. Come on. Game over.
They think we're stupid.
See how simple it is to see through this shit? That's why I'm annoyed that everybody doesn't know about this. This stuff does not take long to figure out. Freemasonry's birthday.
I'm just trying to break it in a few minutes that you were talking. You know, I haven't been listening to you all night, so I just tuned in about a half hour ago or so, and I'm scrolling through all the news. Wow, what's this? And then a caller talks about 5s.
Madonna's 64. How many spaces there are on the chessboard? Like those floors in the Masonic lodges. So yeah, 306 days after the birthday, the news breaks, but it actually happened on Freemasonry's 306th birthday. I mean, come on. And I wish they would outlaw Botox. I'm so sick of looking at these Botox faces. God, they are ugly. I don't know why everybody wants to do this. It's just, it looks ridiculous. My brother-in-law, I haven't seen him for a while. My mom sent me his pictures with his new wife, and I was like, who's this? I was like, oh my God, that's him, because his face is all full of Botox. He looks like a different person.
I would love to chat with you off the record on my idea on how to wake people up, but I think what I would be saying on the air would cause your channel to crash. But I've been on a program for the last almost a year. I've lost 35 pounds. I'm 55 years old. I can do 55 push-ups. I've never been healthier and awake. And I figured out a way how to cleanse your pineal gland. And not many people know the importance of that. And it's amazing the shit that you wake up to. And you can see through all this shit.
Can you quickly say your cleansing method? I'd like to hear what your tip is.
Joe Rogan.
What?
Horse paste.
Horse paste?
I'm on an ivermectin program.
Okay.
That is cleansing my parasites. They've weaponized our parasites.
Okay.
The shit that we eat is doing nothing, including the vaccines, including all the drugs, are doing nothing but feeding the parasites that are within every one of us. Unless we're not a mammal, I don't know what gives us a right to not have parasites as any other mammal.
Sure.
And what do you do when a dog is sick or a cat is sick? It knows enough to go and eat grass and make itself throw up, which is where ivermectin is found in the dirt as avermectin.
Sure.
And it's amazing. You need the parasites that are sucking the brain matter out of every person walking right now.
Sure.
You would be amazed. There's got to be a way to get that out. I've been looking at. I've been curing my arthritis, a whole host of health issues. Like I said, I was in the military. I did all kinds of exercises in the gym, in and out. I've never been able to do as many things that I can do now as when I was 20.
Very good.
Talk about synchronicity. I'm 55.
Perfect. Yeah. Number of the evening. Okay. Good. Yeah. I've been trying to get my dad to exercise now that he's retired, and he's just so opposed. It's driving me nuts. I'm just like, well, why are you so opposed to
The
exercising?
funny thing is, you don't really need to.
Well, eat better will help.
You don't
he doesn't
even
do that
really.
either.
It's eating right. I've changed my entire diet. I'm eating clean, less processed shit, fruits and vegetables. I still eat whole meats as long as it's cooked. And my steady dose of ivermectin. I quit drinking. I drink nothing but lemon water. It changes the pH in your body to more alkaline, which is a non-conducive for parasites. Parasites love a hot, acidic environment.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And hey, let's connect again. I'd like to hear more about your routine. It could be inspiring and helpful to others.
I would love to share it.
All right.
Would love to share it. I've got a program that I'd be more than willing to give to everybody.
Okay. Well, we'll do a health show pretty soon, and that'd be a great one for you to call in about.
I will.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. You have a good night. Let's go out to 816.
Hey, Zach. I just wanted to contribute to some things that the guy was talking about, the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
I've been looking into it ever since Ralph Earl was shot in Kansas City.
Okay.
They said that the guy that helped Ralph Earl's name was James Lynch. There just happened to be an old Kansas City Chiefs player who played in Super Bowl IV, whose name was James Lynch. There's also a James Lynch that plays for the Minnesota Vikings now. And another thing that I found, the new quarterback that they just signed, he is a 4-for-4 match for Allegiant.
Okay.
Like Allegiant Stadium.
Sure.
So I'm still looking, but it is going to be 54 years since Super Bowl IV. So.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
All right. You have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
All right. Germany. Let's cross the ocean. Germany. Hello? Well, Germany is on the line, but I guess perhaps they're just listening. All right, next up, New York City, our good friends. How are you this week, New York?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
How you doing?
Great.
Glad to hear
Taking
that.
it easy as usual.
Very good.
Everything going good with you, okay?
Things are all right over here.
Oh, yeah, I get back on the Patreon.
Say that again?
I get back on the Patreon.
Oh, you got back on there. Thank you.
Yeah. But it's $5 though. Previously it was 11 I used to donate.
Well, 5's very generous. Thank you very much.
What I need to do, I need to get some of this first book you put out,
Uh-huh.
Letters and Numbers.
Uh-huh.
And I want to get some kids
You want to download it?
into it.
You want to download it?
I was planning on buying them, man. Instead of buying the books and instead of downloading.
Well, again, that book, I don't have physical copies. You got to download it and send the digital file to lulu.com, LULU.com, and they'll print it. And I don't know what the price is up to now. It used to be 30-some bucks to have it printed because it's big. I bet it's more now because just everything's up. But
So you didn't print it no more?
I never printed that book. I never printed the first book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no one would print it because... Go ahead.
Amazon still selling? Do you still get them on Amazon?
Not my first book. Only Number Games. Not last time I checked, it was still on there. So let me see.
Oh.
Let me see if it's still there. Yeah, Number Games is still there. They got the price down to $15.49. So.
Let me send to some of them though. I'll get some of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything is good, man. Keep up the good work. You can't make nobody turn your back, man.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, friend. Well, I'm glad you closed us out tonight. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, cool.
Have a good night. All right. Yeah. Number Games. They got it down to $15.49. I don't think it's selling any copies because I don't think I've gotten any paychecks in quite a while. So. But I see there's more reviews on there now than last time I checked. We're up to 789. At one point they just swiped a whole bunch of reviews, just like overnight, just a ton of reviews disappeared. But we're getting back up there. Well, the last time there was a written post was April 20th. Thank you to everyone who leaves a review. Thank you to everyone who's read the book, supported the book. So, yeah, Sweet Lady, it was her birthday this weekend. It's her birthday week. We're celebrating Sweet Lady all week. She said, don't stay on the show too long afterwards tonight. So try to keep it short tonight.
Hey, Zach. So the caller earlier was saying that I was wrong about the aerial anomalous phenomenon. Really stupid name. There is the unidentified anomalous phenomena. That's the supposed organization. It's called the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force that supposedly presided over finding the alien vehicle. So they're called unidentified anomalous phenomena, but the spacecrafts themselves are called the other thing that I think unidentified aerial phenomena. So there's two different names, and both are correct.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I was gonna say. I forgot what else I was gonna say, but yeah, have a good night.
All right, appreciate it. You have a good night too.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, for people in the chat saying, "Where's Rambo?" Rambo's been gone for a few months. He had the trolls in his ear, and he kept listening to the trolls. And I told him to stop, echoing the troll drama. But he's welcome to come back anytime, and he's chosen not to. So that's just fine. What's up, DK?
He's welcome to come back anytime.
DK, you're on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I got my band in the background too.
Okay, very cool.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yeah.
What's going on, Zachary?
You know, just another day in paradise. Hey, be careful in Australia. Australian metal musician, R.I.P. Ryan Siew.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so wake up, lot people. I'm getting ready to head to Boston.
What's going on in Boston?
I'm flying out tomorrow. Let me pull this sucker up here for you.
Little tea party in Boston first.
Yeah, it's a little autograph tea party.
Okay.
It's called the Collectibles Extravaganza Music Con and Concerts Movie and TV Car Show. People can go to collectiblesextravaganza.com. Chris Poland and I will be there this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with bells on. If you're near Boston, anywhere around Boston, come hang out with us. I'm going to have Kings of Thrash vinyl, the gold Ripple vinyl albums, and the DVD double CD, Best of the West Live at the Whiskey A Go-Go. We're signing them. We're taking pictures, the whole ball of wax. And then, yeah, I come right back Sunday, drive to LA Monday to see Dinah 2 days, and then rehearse the 6th and fly to Australia the 7th. And if you're listening from Australia, good. It's probably evening there, right? Good evening. Down under.
Indeed.
Down over. Hold on. What's the
2-3 in the morning there right now, probably.
right? July 12th, Canberra, the Basement. July 13th, Brisbane, the Zoo. 14th, Melbourne, Max Watts. 15th, Sydney, Crowbar. Let's rock.
Perfect. Yeah, I got the tour dates up here.
Just saying.
East Coasters, get your best leprechaun outfit on and go see Jeff in Boston.
Yeah.
Tell him I sent you.
You know, it's funny. I'm trying to think. We don't really. I can't think of any callers that call in from the Boston area.
Really?
Zenith of the Alpha is somewhere in Massachusetts, but yeah, we don't have a lot of Boston callers now that I think about it.
I was trippy about 3 rhymes in the headlines today.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Right.
That stood out like a sore thumb when I got up. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
It's almost as good as, and I think it's in my 33 In Y'all Face Part 1 video.
Mason Wells?
Where CNN had on their webpage, literally, and I mean, it was like 15, 20 stories, all had 33 in the headline. Every single story, like the little thumbnails to each story.
Okay.
All of them, check out on my Music Lives Live web show, YouTube. You want to see that? It's part 1. Craziness.
Yeah. Yeah, let me get that channel up.
Music Lives Live web show. I got to change it back to Music Without Boundaries. I got to get back on the air and to figure out
You've been too busy.
How long has it been doing those shows, Jeff?
11 years.
Oh, damn.
Just been on a temporary hiatus. Had some great guests, including Zachary K. Hubbard. But yeah, Music Lives Live, ! Web show.
Yeah, I got
When's
it
the
up
last
there.
time you did one? A year or 2 ago?
The last one was me and Dinah performing live on the show, Killer. Live, and it was Killer. That's like the newest one. If you go on the Music Lives Live web show and look at the videos, actually the newest videos, Dinah's her AC/DC all-female little AC/DC tribute band, that they kill it. Look at that festival they played opening for Cheap Trick and Don Felder from the Eagles and Grand Funk, and they blew the day away. Yeah, then there at the bottom, they're right there. 33 in Your Face Part 1, 33 in Your Face Part 2, and Part 3. Oh, dude, she's calling, dude. Diana's calling. I'll be right. I'll call you. I'll be back with you.
Okay. You're on, DK.
You can still hear me, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. Before Jeff comes back, let me just get to some of the comments. I'm like an hour behind on the show, but took a couple notes. So the one guy called in. Well, this one actually I'll save because Jeff was talking about that, so I'll save this for when he comes back about the passport and the travel. You had the one guy call in say that ancient civilizations and ancient history and gematria, like there's, how come these two genres haven't gotten together or whatever, and like that's what I'm here for. I got a boots on the ground logical approach to that instead of these all these ridiculous shills and retards that they've put out on the internet for us, like Billy Carson. They literally launched that guy because of me. He's so pathetic. He literally plagiarizes my shit word for word and then throws in like one little spin on it. The guy's been running away from me for a few years now since he's been out on the scene. But I mean, I tell all my black friends, like the shills they have for the black community are particularly and obviously so much more low IQ than the shit they have for white people. It's crazy because like no white people that are half woke would fall for Billy Carson. But black people do because they're like, well, this guy's black, so he's already got his foot in the door just because he's got the same color on his meat suit. So these people fall for it. But yeah, that guy's an absolute clown. He wrote some fake book about the Emerald Tablets and, just basically to make people like my work, they run like a misinformation, disinformation / confusion campaign parallel to the stuff that I'm doing and then just go veer a little bit off, just to make it, make it seem like it's legit because they tell you all the good stuff in the beginning. But yeah, that guy's a clown. Whenever I don't go to any of these like UFO conferences I did like 10 years ago, I went to a few of these things, but these guys have been running away from me for years. If I ever catch them in public, it'll be the last day that they are going to be putting out stuff. I'll make such a spectacle out of them. But yeah, so that was probably a troll call anyways, but these trolls, they just won't stop. Yeah, you should do a collab with Fake Jew Jason Brashears, that shill, and then you should look into Billy Carson and his ancient fucking bullshit stories. And yeah. But no, in reality, Zach shouldn't look into any of this stuff. These guys should be sharing Zach's work if they were actually legit. So yeah, whoever that troll caller was, you could pack that up, put it back in your pipe and smoke it. Then what about this last guy that was calling in about the Ganymede sounded like a troll call as well. I don't know. He was just having a lot of trouble getting his point across or whatever he was trying to say. But Ganymede is the artificial moon of Jupiter where the good guys are allegedly posted up. Titan is the artificial moon of Saturn where the bad guys are allegedly posted up. And some of the agents of the good guys that were sent to Earth were sent to various places, including Mount Olympus, where you get the Olympians versus the Titans. So it goes again back to that, ancient civilizations and ancient history. The guy that was pitching Billy Carson is interested, and so there you go on that. Since Jeff's not back yet, we'll talk about this passport and travel. I don't know exactly what that guy was trying to say. I was like outside of the yard trying to clean some stuff up while I was listening to that call, but you can actually travel without a passport and all this stuff. You don't have to like rescind your citizenship or whatever. There's a way to do it. You have to file all this paperwork and all that. It takes a little bit extra time. Like you have to do it ahead of time, but you don't need any of their official documents to travel at all. They just to go through their make it easy through their system, through their airport, so you could just flash your passport at the little counter and the guy stamps it or whatever. It's just to make it easy. But there's a way to do it through paperwork and all that ahead of time. You mail things over to the country that you're going to, you get approval and all. There's a way to do it without having a passport. So I don't know if that's what he was actually talking about, or was he talking about like the sovereignty type of thing where you with the rescinding your citizenship and then birth certificates and all that. I don't know what he was actually trying to get into, but there is a way to travel without doing any of that other stuff. There is a way to travel without their quote unquote official documents that make it easy, which, that's just another one of these mark of the beast, the passport. Since we're ships, we need a passport because we're going from port to port, right? So, when we get together, they call it a partnership. If they don't want, people to stay stuff, it's called censorship. So we're all ships, that's why the suffix of those words are always ship, because it refers to us. We're ships. We're abandoned ships at sea, actually, and that's why we're, subject to their admiralty law of the sea, because we are technically ships that have been docked. They're still sitting on the water, but we're docked. We're docked. We're at the docker. That's where you get your birth certificate, where the ship has to present its birth certificate at the dock. So we're all abandoned ships that are tied to the dock, sitting in the water. Like pirate ship, that's the only time pirate ships are vulnerable, by the way, when they're tied up to dock. But when they're out in the open seas, nobody can catch them. But once you get them on land and tied up to the land, you can basically bring them to justice. That's why they got us tied up there, and they're still, sailing the high seas. Like Ghislaine Maxwell said, she's a citizen of the ocean. I think the best guy for doing the paperwork and all that stuff to travel without using their documents, I think his name is Kenneth Cousins. I can't remember what he had. Terra Nova or something was his name of his website or something. But he's a guy. He was really good in going through with people on how to do all this, like including the documentation with the citizenship and birth certificates if people were interested in that. But he just goes through how, it's all just like cattle traveling, and as a cow, from passing from one, if you buy a cow and then he's going to go to another farmer, the other farmer brands him. That's where you get the stamp on your passports and all that, just like the stamp on the back of the cow. And you get your stamps on your birth certificate and you get your stamps on your citizenship and all that. It's just like a brand, and it looks like one too. What else? Those are all my notes, I think, for the calls. What else was in the news? Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you about? So you were talking about Chris Paul, the little guy or whatever. So there's some of the guys that before, even really knowing how scripted it is, I just thought like, man, these guys are not that good. How is it that they're, being like, didn't understand how scripted the careers were from like, from cradle to grave. So like guys that I always thought were, punching way above their weight unjustly, or, it didn't make sense, was guys like Chris Paul. Who else was that? Like when I was growing up, the guys that like I was like modeling my game after and watching their moves on the on TV, and then going out in the yard to practice it, and then subsequently going out on the in the gym playing pickup, and then in whatever teams and games I was playing, and use it there finally. But it was guys like KJ, Kevin Johnson for the Phoenix Suns, Tim Hardaway, and like these guys had actual real like dribble moves and they were you could just tell they were good. Chris Paul, I was like looking at him like, this guy doesn't even have any moves. He has kind of a weird knuckleball shot. Like it just doesn't make sense how these guys can't guard him. He doesn't even have any good moves. Like I don't get it. What's the big deal? And then also guys like Allen Iverson, I was like, why is this? I mean, I get it. This guy's got a good crossover, but like there's a million guys like this on the playground. You just back up like 2 feet. Just go ahead, bro. Do a million crossovers and shoot your fucking brick so I could get the rebound and come back and drop a swoosh 3 in your face, dude. Go ahead and fire it up. Those guys are always like guys that are built a gym right next to the playground with all the bricks, So it took Allen Iverson, I don't know how many years till he learned how to shoot slightly. And then he was scoring like those 50-point games and all that. But I always thought, like, here's an athletic guy. He can learn how to play ball, but it's going to take him 5 years to get all the, fundamentals down and how to shoot and all that stuff. So I always thought he was like totally ridiculously punching above his weight, just like kind of like a Steph Curry, not even athletic. And so I was just wondering, another guy, Mark Price, I remember, we're like, oh, at least got one good white guy point guard, but then looking back at him now, how scripted was that? He's a little like slow Jewish guy, but he's like the best point guard in the league. I think he may have even won an MVP like Steve Nash, And I've seen Steve Nash in person. He's pretty good and all that, but as far as being like NBA MVP for 3 years in a row, I don't know about all that. I mean, he's a good, pickup ball player and all that stuff, like just having good guys in the gym together. He shoots well. He's got great fundamental dribbling and all that, but he's no athletic phenom himself either. He's not blowing by anybody, not even guys that he's way better than. So, and then like in comparison, playing like with Russell Westbrook, that guy's flying all over the court, and it makes sense that he can also do that, in the NBA. He just doesn't have maybe the best finesse of anything, but, he definitely has the athleticism and the speed. So I was just kind of wondering, what other guys do you think just don't even belong whatsoever? A lot of these guys I think belong, and maybe they're just accentuating their play a little bit more, but some of the guys they don't even belong. Like, I don't think Chris Paul would ever make the NBA. I don't think like Mark Price, those guys, they wouldn't even make the NBA at all, let alone be, standout players.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of guys that would not be in the league if, again, Chris Paul, the day he signs with Wake Forest, his grandpa's dead. So,
Yeah, that's Wake Forest too. Like, can't wake up and see the forest for the trees. I always thought, like, does that have anything to do with it? That's a kind of a weird name.
What about their nickname, Demon Deacons?
Yeah, it's just a weird name, Wake Forest. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Wake is like, somewhere after somebody dies, or, waking up, or like, in the ocean, there's the wake. So I was like, what does that have to do with the forest? It makes absolutely no sense.
Indeed.
And I don't know, that's kind of about it for me, unless there's something else. I can't even think of anything else to say, because you've been doing so few streams. So anything else that you may have said, I already kind of forgot. I just wrote down these couple things while you were talking today.
Got anything on Ryan Seacrest?
Oh, the Ryans thing? Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to. I saw that on the news at the gym late night. Like, you guys don't see it till the next day. So sometimes the stuff's on the news like midnight, 1 in the morning that I see, and then you guys talk about it the next day. So I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Why all the Ryans? I was trying to think, is that from any movie, or what the heck's going on? You got yeah. The guy was saying about looking into Billy Carson. I was like, yeah, that's a good way to lose more followers. Can't wait for that collab with George. That ought to put to sleep the remaining 3,000 supporters. I recommend to George, you're probably only a few years older than me. Why not take like a speech course or something, so you don't sound like you're gargling mouthwash when you're talking all the time? Because smart people hear you, they're gone. When I first started listening to Zach's show, I was like, man, I can't even listen to this stuff. I want to call in, but listening to these callers, I feel like I'm getting dumber every second while I'm listening to them. Hearing guys like George, I'm like, why does he even humor this? I didn't realize, I had to listen.
Oh, come on, man. George means well. Yeah, Johnny Cerrucci always gets mad at George. But the one thing I don't get is why he always has so many problems with his audio equipment, but he means well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like he should put the time where the time should be. If you want to present stuff to people, you got to be able to speak. You can't just go out there and go, everybody's going to run away, even if you're a genius. You have to be able to relay the information, and that's why forever they've used pretty girls to deliver stuff, because people want to listen, even if they don't know their head from their ass. They just write them a script, but people want to listen. They talk nice and they look nice, but if you can't at least get half the battle down, nobody's going to even want to hear words you have to say. So I think you should definitely work on that and get his things down before he starts trying to do anything further.
Sure.
But I'm not trying to necessarily pick on him or cack on him or anything personal, even though it sounds like it. But it's just in general, when I listen to it, I'm just thinking, I'm like, Jesus, these people hear how they sound? Like, replay the audio, listen to it on YouTube afterwards, and just like take a listen, and then ask yourself if that sounds good or normal or not, or if it sounds like it's just somebody, doing mumble rap or whatever the heck they call that new stuff.
Sure. No, I hear what you're saying. So, but yeah, it's okay, DK. It'll be better if I get off sooner than later too, because may ask that I don't stay on here too much after.
I heard you saying that right when I was talking to Jeff. I'm like, oh, here he's already saying you're not staying long. So
yeah.
But Jeff, I think Dinah saved you.
Yeah. So
she saved you a good 45 minutes to an hour.
That's true. So all right, man. Well, appreciate it as always, DK. Thank you.
Was there something about Sirius in the news recently? For some reason, somebody just wrote Sirius, and I'm feeling like there was something recently.
Oh, I didn't see anything about Sirius.
Maybe there was. I can't remember now because I don't have nothing. I've been too busy for the last few weeks since one of my old people broke her hip, so I haven't had any extra time to be screwing around. I just barely have time to listen to the show on Wednesdays, and half of it, if anything. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. I think Charmed One put it in. I'm answering the chat right now.
The Heliacal Rising of Sirius is coming up. I know that. That's not too far away.
Is that what they were talking about? Somebody was saying, oh yeah, Sirius Rising. Yeah, that's true. Gematria 32. Yeah, Charm One will put it in the link right now. What's that? Tenkaichi Tavern? It's a hard one to pronounce. There it is. Yeah, I don't really necessarily post on that much more because I spend 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, making a video. And then by the time it loads on there, 10 minutes later, it's gone. And I'll come out of the gym and it's already gone. So nobody even saw it because I posted it like at 11 and then come out of the gym at 1 in the morning and nobody even really got to see it. But so I kind of just do it on I've been doing it on my social media more, just doing articles and stuff like that. And then, I get, they stop. I don't know if they're trying to be like Twitter now. But I used to get banned like every 2-3 weeks for 30 days on Facebook. Now the last 5 bans I've gotten have only been for 6 days. I mean, I only last 5-6 days, then I get a 6-day ban. Then I last a little bit longer, then I get a 6-day ban. So I think they're cutting back on the. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but I probably have maybe about 35 30-day bans from the last 4 or 5 years. And then all of a sudden lately it's just been 6-day bans. I don't know how you go backwards. I started with I think a 24-hour ban and 48 hours and 3 days and a week. Then they've all been months since the last I don't know how many years. So I don't know if they're trying to emulate the quote unquote less censorship from Twitter. There it is. All right, well, I think that may be a good time to get back to the sweet lady birthday week thing.
Indeed. You know how old she turned?
Tell her I said happy birthday. What is she, 30 now? 33?
There you go. So
33. That's why 33's been everywhere. Fuck. That was so easy. How did we miss that one?
Yeah. Indeed.
It was all because of her.
Indeed.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for taking the call again, and I guess Jeff missed out on his hour segment, so we'll catch up with him, I guess, when he gets back.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again. All right, DK, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night, Zach.
All right, yeah, take care. Okay, let me say thank you to the super chatters as well. Shout out to 13 Serpents, another generous donation. Thank you as well, TK, also very generous, and Brian Patterson, who clued us in on the Jimmy Johnson murder-suicide and also the tragedy from 9 years earlier, the skydiving accident also in his family. Also, Amy had another good decode on her website. Again, Crack Their Code is her YouTube channel, all one word together, Crack Their Code, THEIR. And her website is cracktheircode.org. Amy doing great work. LAF with two $10 donations tonight. Thank you, LAF. And Open Up donated this morning in the short Ryan Mallet video. And thank you to all of those people. Also, thank you to the person who donated on PayPal. That was very generous. And on Cash App, the people who donated this past week were Brian, John, Clarence, Rob, Shahad, Quentin. Thank you to all of you. Appreciate it. And thank you everyone who hits the like and the share and leaves the comment. Again, all those things help out the algorithm. And check out Jeff Young's channel, Music Lives Live. That's where you'll find these videos with the 33 compilations, and there's a few more on there. And again, I told May I wouldn't stay too long after hours tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up. And somebody said the Yankees game is near a perfect game. Let me see if that's still going on right now. The thing about a perfect game on a Wednesday, Domingo German throws a perfect game. So Yankees equals 37, Wednesday equals 37, perfect equals 37. All of those words, Yankees, Wednesday, perfect, all 37, a perfect game on a Wednesday. And since they don't happen too often in baseball, let's see, how many days after Domingo German's birthday is it? Oh, it's 37 days before his upcoming birthday. His 31st birthday is in 37 days. How perfect. How perfect. Of course it's 37 days before his birthday with the perfect game. Come on. All right, guys. Gematria. Paying the bills. Till next time, True Seeker.